BBC Two.
Yeah, so we're playing the only game Ian's like one of those people that's colorblind. All he can see is Doom. He's got like he's got game retardation. That I think that's the technical term for it. So we
Actually,
got
today, the whole of the world is playing catch up on material we did about 2 months ago, aren't they?
well. You see, I am hoping, and I'm going to actually YouTube before YouTube actually is us. So for those
Yeah,
that are like reading the titles to our podcast, because every episode, every like show we do, has got a theme and it's got a topic, and these topics that they've got a title, haven't they? Well, the title in this one is 14 words 265. Wow, we've already done 265 of these.
I know we're barreling down towards another recap episode.
I think you've been present in probably 99, if not 100% of these episodes, and I've probably been here for 99% of them. So,
Well, you did have your period in the wilderness when you fell out with the Brutus, hadn't you?
well, and there was also that other time where I was like working shifts, and that was fun. Not really.
Yeah.
Money was all right. So yes, now 14 wins 265. That's the number. Now the subject of tonight's There's you've written there's chemtrail in my atmospheric soup.
Oh, what, have I ebonicked it? Have I?
You've done English as a second language yet?
Hold on, let me
Yeah.
I'll correct that. Don't worry.
Hemi's showing his English as a second language priors here. You see,
Yeah.
he's not a native speaker,
There's
unlike
a
myself.
chemtrail in my atmospheric soup.
Yes, and YouTube would be like,
That will be 50p extra.
wait, there's a fly in my soup. Or don't tell everyone. Don't tell, otherwise everybody will want one. Um, now, YouTube will say, actually, chemtrails aren't real, and YouTube.
They're contrails which are missed.
Right, so you see, a contrail is short for a confidence trick tale. It's in they'll tell you any old bollocks, hoping to con you, and that's what a chemtrail means. Now, YouTube, you're going to say chemtrails aren't real, and I can refute you and say British government to spend £800 million this year on an experiment. Now, you can't see me doing air quotes here, but I'm doing air
Well,
quotes
actually,
to the microphone.
actually, if you go back a couple of months,
Yeah.
you can see that we did a whole thing on what the contrail. No, not quite.
Yeah.
That we did quite a lot of content from the .gov website, which I believe is the British government's website, telling us all about what they do. Oh, what they're not doing in the atmosphere, but they're allowing to happen.
It's .gov.uk. It's .gov.uk for us,
Yeah.
and it's .gov for the US. But in addition to that, we also did reports from the Spanish Meteorological Office and the United Arab Emirates with their experiments with cloud seeding and causing the flash flooding. But
Or if you go to the 14 words telegram, what's his name? Where's that gone? RFK himself is saying it. He's followed the money, hasn't he?
Ian fondly remembers the story of the chemsex party where the man was getting bum silly, and
Yeah.
then he had to go to prison, and then they were bumming him some more in prison. Then when he got out of prison, they bummed him some more, and it was just one of those things of. I think it was a Pink News article, wasn't it? I don't think it was one that Top Cat was listening to. I haven't been to Pink News in a while, but
No,
you see,
that was the incident that led to Top Cat
was it?
losing the plot.
Oh,
It was definitely Pink News. It was definitely a Pink News article that sent him over the top, weren't it?
Was it sort of a bit close to home, and he was just like, "Oh God, he's going to be talking about the parties I go to." We hear we you know we're. So the thing is, unfortunately, Pink.
I'm just gonna go and have a dance with Ricky Hatton.
You see, the Pink News is in itself in a bit of trouble because the two owners they've been sort of done for sexually harassing their male staff and trying to bum
Have
them
you
after
seen this
playing
one,
the
Hobbit?
champagne.
Bill Gates patents a device aimed at halting hurricanes.
The US Air Force already has a anti-hurricane device. It's called, you fly planes in the direction counter to the rotation of the
What? So
storm.
Superman was right.
It literally, you do that with aircraft and it dissipates the storm.
That's weird.
Two or three of them, and it will do it. Well, the only thing I can say is, have you ever had like when you watch your plug hole in the sink or the bath and it swells around? If you put your hand in and you swell your hand the other way round, it stops the vortex.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, no. So Alphabet Cat, you're watching the BBC One stream. That's 14 words, and on BBC Two, we are having the same audio, but it's with the BBC Two content on it. So it's a little bit different.
What else does Hobbit do? That's another one that Ian's got. Ian's got an obsession with what you get up to in your
It's sinks and chemsex, and I don't. You see, Ian's living in this world. Like it's probably not too far from the YouTube world where
you're peeing in the sink while playing Doom.
And that chemtrails are a conspiracy, and actually what they really are is contrails. And as we know, con is short for a confidence trick, so it's a trail that gains you confidence somehow. Don't ask me how it works, but that's just the way it is. I don't make up these rules. But yeah, I'm doing some gaming. Ian?
Have we actually covered Katy Perry? Did we cover that last week?
Oh,
I think we didn't we?
I actually have a thing about that. So if I go to my bookmarks, there's. Did you know about the Katy Perry law? Because Katy Perry is so evil that she. Hang on, just let me check something. Just a second.
Well, she does a lot of the Illuminati
right.
stuff, didn't she?
In summary, Katy Perry caused nuns to kill themselves because she's so evil.
Yeah. Katy Perry going into fake space. She went into real space, but she only dipped her toe in it.
I've got a condenser which collects contrails, and then the distillate thereof I drink it, because you see contrails are just water vapour. Yeah. So I've got a jug filled with condensed water vapour. That's a contrail. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, chemtrails, or as it's also known, government's plan to spend £800 million a year dimming the sun, is real. And you see, the government spent a lot of money. It's committed to net zero. And they're worried that we're getting too much sunshine in the UK, which, by the way, is the country which gets the 5th least amount of sunshine in the world. Even Iceland gets more hours of sunshine than we do. So they're worried that we're getting too much sun in this country. And they've also spent a lot of money on solar panels in this country. So they're going to be reducing the power output to the solar panels by dimming the sun that goes on these solar panels.
Well, does this actually have anything to do with everybody's favourite politician or ex-politician? To what Tony Blair's been saying.
Now, Tony Blair's come out recently and he said something about this, hasn't he? What has Tony Blair been up to? What's Tony said?
First of all, what went on in Spain? Because I don't really know anything about that. I haven't really followed that story at all.
Right, so Spain, along with all these other countries committed to net zero, is dedicated to... It's dedicated to destroying their power networks by making them very vulnerable. So the way it did that is it got rid of its coal and gas power station. It's gone for new renewables. And it also got rid of the hydroelectric dams, because they're like, LOL, why would we want to store water when we can all just let it flow to the sea? So they've done both of those things, and then they didn't have enough power. It causes an overload in the grid, and because the grid is fragile and there's no redundancy built in, because redundancy costs money.
Yeah, because that was coal, or was it? I think we used to have coal and gas, didn't we? I think coal was the primary.
You have
for backup,
have a number of redundant systems so that there's plenty of slack. So in the case of this, you can fix it. So there was a tiny variance. I think it was 0.015 of a hertz. and that was enough to cause a cascade overrun, where one substation would shut down in order to prevent over voltage, because when there's like a frequency fluctuation, the voltage can spike, which would destroy equipment. So they shut themselves to protect themselves. Then other substations get overloaded. They shut themselves down to prevent overload. So you had all these substations that were shutting themselves down. And then when generators were coming back online, they were having to shut down because they were over 100%. So they just have all these things shutting down and down again. And because these systems are interlinked, it meant like the connection between France and Spain, that shut down as well, which for some reason resulted in parts of France being shut down, because it's like, oh dear, we're not exporting enough of our electricity to Spain now, and England's not buying up the slack. We're going to have to shut down these generators. So it just was like a series of dominoes, one set off another to cause a shutdown over and over again. And Alphabet Cat says this will be coming to the UK soon. I would recommend everybody invest in bottled water, or you make your own potable water. Like I said, I've just done it.
I thought you were going to go into a speech like the geezer from Blackadder 2. You start bottling your own water.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a steam distiller, so like when I said I've been collecting contrails and condensing them, I'm talking about distilled water. So I've got my own distilled water. You want to have a means of heating food and heating yourself. So in my case, I've got a fire, but if you get like a camping stove or something like that, that can work. If you've got a diesel car, get yourself a jerry can of diesel, because you can keep it for years without it going off. If you've got petrol, get yourself also a container of petrol, and just try and use it within about 3 to 6 months, because it will start turning into shellac after a while. The alcohol and the petrol will separate out. So if you are storing petrol, just put it in your rotation so your stored petrol's not very old. And I would also say this, although it's going to be very interesting when it happens in this country, because it's a matter of when, not if now, because we have a fragile grid. Have cash. Have enough cash where you could buy yourself at least a week's groceries, and then go into the various shops and supermarkets and then going, sorry, we can't sell you anything because our tills are down, and nobody knows how to like count in their head anymore, and do it like the old greengrocers do, where you go to the shop and they would just like manually type in an actual manual till, one which wasn't even plugged into anything. It was just a purely mechanical device, and they tally up.
You mean work out where proper shops are?
Yeah, so you'll have to actually go to a proper shop. And this is why I've been thinking to myself, if it all goes tits up and the grid goes down or whatever, then I'll still be able to go to the farm. I'll still be able to buy butter and eggs. And if they're willing, I will milk the cows by hand and just say, well, look, I've milked the cow. Can I give you at least a quid for what I've done here? Because, it hasn't gone for your machine or anything. Normally it's £1.30 a litre, which is the same price as in the supermarket. So I would say, yeah, have cash, have water, have a means of cooking a meal. And if you got a car or something, carry at least... Get yourself at least some fuel. So if ever, because if there's a power cut, the petrol station pumps, they won't work. They need electricity. So if you haven't got any other fuel and you're low on fuel, then you're fucked. And this is, by the way, it's not me scaremongering. The actual government, the EU have recommended that people have non-perishable goods that will last them 3 days at least. I think 3 days was the amount they said. I might be wrong on this. I think it's a 3-day supply of that. Yeah. So yeah, by the way,
So
what I'm saying is, what previously was a conspiracy theory about chemtrails. You know, there's definitely no stratospheric climate remediation. Well, YouTube, actually, Ed Miliband says you're wrong because we're doing this to combat.
actually, Tony Blair says you're all wrong.
Yeah, and also Tony Blair says, actually, Ed Miliband, maybe this net zero thing is a folly.
Maybe you're retarded.
If
I think you're allowed to say retarded now.
if Tony Blair, you know, the sort of Lord of Evil himself, is saying, Ed Miliband, I don't think this is going to work, then, you know, it's kind of like Darth Vader's. No, is this like Emperor Palpatine leaning into Darth Vader? No, this is Darth Vader leaning into that retarded.
But the problem is apparently Keir Starmer is going. "Bah, bah, bah, bah. No, I'm not listening to you, Tony Blair. You sound like a far right fascist. Bah, 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 bah."
Well, that's the thing, you see, that like Emperor Palpatine's leaning into this new Sith Lord who's called like Lord Shits Himself Retarded, and saying, look, your plan to like stomp on kittens whilst the Rebel Alliance gains more and more support, and then set the kittens on fire whilst throwing babies at a wall. I don't think this
You
is
could
going
always send the kittens to Monkey Island because you know Monkey Torture Island's opening back up with everybody's favourite doctor.
Oh, good. By the way, Anthony Fauci is. They want him to be extradited to Russia as part of the Ukraine-Russia ceasefire deal. They want to try him for crimes against humanity because of the Panda Pops incident, which we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. So anyway,
Yeah.
Tony Blair is Emperor Palpatine.
Well, actually, I've got an article to go through on it, so
Just briefly,
skipped a bit, so.
just briefly, right? And he's turning around to the new Sith Lord, you know, the Keir Starmers and what have you, and be like, look, your plan to like put babies in a blender and stamp on puppies, I don't think is going to win you this war.
But
And then
I want England to become a woke North Korea.
yeah.
We're going to stay woke while everybody else becomes sensible.
And then basically, yeah, like the Sith Lord, dear leader, is like, right, you're not radical enough. Net zero, dim everything, whilst we've also got solar panels everywhere. Rah! It's like, but this is pretty much you taking a lightsaber and shoving it up your arsehole because you're proving a point about gay rights or something.
Yeah.
And now you've got a cauterized arsehole which you can't have gay sex with because it's cauterized and you can't poop out of it anymore.
Yeah, and Lord Ali won't buy you suits anymore.
Yeah, because, you know, it's like, sorry, mate, I'm not interested in lightsaber arseholes.
Then just after the lights in Spain went back on, the power behind the throne of British politics, now his Labour Party is back in power. And not to mention his enduring grip on the British establishment political culture nearly 20 years after he left office, dropped a new report saying the rush to decarbonise isn't working. Well, what a fucking surprise. Who could have predicted that the rush to decarbonise isn't working?
Oh, by the way, anybody that says, like, decarbonise, you are the carbon they want to reduce.
Yeah.
Let's not, like, mince words about this.
In a remarkable development, Blair, the giant of British centrism in scare quotes, spoke the language of green transition skeptics, acknowledging that in developed countries, voters feel they're being asked to make financial sacrifices and changes in lifestyle when they know that their impact on global emissions is minimal. Any strategy based on either phasing out fossil fuels in the short term or limiting consumption is a strategy doomed to fail. Right, so does this mean am I for net zero now?
It's like
Tony Blair wants it. Now Tony Blair wants it stopped. I'm confused. Do we want net zero now?
I think what this is rather than a warning to us, it's a warning to the system of which he serves and he's vested interest in, saying like, look, you're actually gonna, by being this retarded and thrusting so fast forward with the WEF agenda, you will set back our agenda decades, if not centuries. So just
if not stamp it out entirely.
Just reel it in before the gig is up. That's what
The Green lobbies.
he's basically saying to like if this was Scarface and Tony Montana was just like, I'm gonna now start selling cocaine to school children, and then you got his suppliers
Yeah.
saying, Tony, could you reel it in a bit, please? You're making everybody nervous. This is basically what a kid.
Keir Starmer is literally in his desk, big pile of cocaine, going,
No,
say hello
no.
to my little friend.
No. Keir Starmer and Ed Miliband are at the desk and they're snorting a big pile of chemtrails. We're like, we're giving this to everyone.
Purist...
We're gonna pump the House of Commons full of chemtrails. We're gonna pump school children full of chemtrails. Chemtrails are going fucking everywhere. We're gonna make it look like a 1980s Top of the Pop set with dry ice, except chemtrails.
Yeah. The Green lobby's purist solutions of simply ending carbon altogether is totally misguided. Actually, probably went. The Green lobby's purist solutions of simply ending carbon altogether is totally misguided. Blair wrote.
Yeah.
Observing political...
Dom said something which I just thought was a bit interesting. I don't know. Maybe you can speak to this. Keir Starmer.
Yeah.
This is not my words. This is the words of the YouTube user Dom Alfkicker, dear leader. Keir Starmer is snorting a big pile of sausages.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that could be referring to.
I would have thought he preferred to inhale sausages. I don't think he was really into snorting sausages.
Sometimes he even throws sausages in his bum, but that's what Dom Alfkicker said, not me.
Yeah. Green lobby's political leaders fear saying what many know to be true. The current approach isn't working. In 2024, China initiated construction on 95 gigawatts of new coal-fired energy, which is almost as much as the total current energy output from coal of all Europe put together.
Now,
they're similar sizes.
Just for reference, right, in case you're wondering what does this mean, typically the UK at any point of the day is using about 30 gigawatts of energy. We generate 28 gigawatts of energy, and about half of that energy, so 15 gigawatts, is produced by gas. That used to be produced by coal in our country. We are now a net importer of energy. We don't export it. We used to export energy. We used to sell energy to Ireland and Belgium.
Well, we used to have the gas bank. What do they call it? The gas bank, is it? You remember? I don't know if you remember in your town centres or whatever when you were a kid. The big drums.
Yeah, they don't do those anymore, do they?
Ours they've actually destroyed it. Because obviously you wouldn't want that coming back, would you?
No. Why would you want that?
They've destroyed it and put Dino boxes on it.
Yeah. Well, that just seems way better, right?
Yeah. We need more Dino boxes.
Look, just get rid of all the warehouses, all the roads, and all the everything, and just erect Dino boxes so Abdul and his 7 lovely wives can come live here.
Yeah. So nuclear power would be an essential part of the answer to these problems. If only somebody had thought of this before. The former Prime Minister wrote in a direct contradiction to the green orthodoxy of many European states like Germany and Spain. What do you think to this, Hobbit? Do you think Tony Blair's pissing in the wind? Or do you think these people are that they're net zero zealots and there's no way they'll even listen to Tony Blair? I suppose this is where we find out how much power Tony Blair actually has.
I'll refer to my previous statement. He's telling his team to reel it the fuck in before the jig is up.
Yeah, but are they going to be like, the meme with the people all talking together and then someone says something and the thumbs up and then they carry on talking with each other? I don't know whether woke has kind of done that much of a number on our elites where even Tony Blair can't fucking turn this ship around. Do you know what I mean?
I would be very interested to find out where this is going. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody that can predict what people's motivations are, so I'm no good to ask on that.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of wondering which way it's going to fall. Are they going to listen to Tony Blair, which is not good because it means he still has powers, which means we'll have digital IDs and all of that bollocks. But it would be but then it's a lose-lose, isn't it? It's either Tony Blair gets his way and we find out that he really has some power, or they get their way and it's we're on this fucking this roller coaster ride to fucking hell.
Either way we lose. It's just a matter of like
Yeah.
how fast is the
Degrees of losing. How many degrees of losing do you want?
we're on a car that's careening towards a cliff. Tony Blair's saying slow down. They're going to start reaching for the handbrake, and the other ones will be like, no, we can see the cliff now. Speed up.
So it's like, which future do you want? Do you want the future where Tony Blair wins and you get to carry on watching telly and play pew pew games on your PC, or do you want the future where it's back to the Stone Age? It's like but the price for having electricity is that it turns out that Tony Blair's been running things all along.
We can't have electricity. That's like
Yeah.
one thing, and it just I don't know.
I think Ian's had a concussion or something because he said, "Say what you want about Tony Blair, but his wife is hot."
Look, you know we Karen.
Alphabet Cat says, "Do you think Tony Blair forced lightning Starmer if he disobeys him?"
Just again, I don't know. It might be a case of like Starmer being Vader and then he's turning on Emperor Palpatine
Yeah.
Blair.
Yeah, he's going to chuck him down the pit.
Yeah. He's going to chuck him down the net zero pit.
Yeah. You are Tony Blair. You are the carb. Tony Blair, you are the carbon that I want to get rid of. Get in the pit.
No. Look into it. You can't. Hang on. Who's who in this thing? Are we doing?
He's Vader, isn't he?
And in this episode of 40 words, everything is reduced to a Star Wars analogy because neither of us have read Harry Potter.
Or Red Dwarf. I mean, we can't really. There's no Red Dwarf thing for this, is there?
I don't really think you can have Queeg and Rimmer as the two choices.
Yeah, do you want to get back to Earth with Queeg, or do you want Holly, or do you want Holly and having a bit of a laugh?
So you know which one? I think I'm going to say that the current regime is hot.
That makes Tony Blair Holly and Keir Starmer Queeg. This is wrong. This whole political turnaround from Tony Blair is wrong on so many
In that
levels.
case, can I just say that Theresa May is Hilly because I kind of like that idea. I would accept Hilly being the Theresa May thing of she was around for a while. It was all right, wasn't it? I thought she was all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who else liked Hilly? I thought Hilly was pretty good.
Well, she was Holly, weren't she? Because Holly changed his face because he was affected by it, weren't he?
Well, it's Hilly.
She was Hilly in the alternate universe, but do you remember when Holly became female Holly? That was actually Holly because he fell in love with her. He used her face.
I don't remember what the official story was. I just thought, oh yeah, they replaced the old bloke with a woman that looks all right, so I was happy.
Yeah, because apparently Norman Lovett got a bit power hungry. I think he became like Chef got with the South Park.
Well, the main thing with Chef there was he was like, hey yo, I go to the same bum club with Tom Cruise. You can't be talking about my religion like that. Ooga booga. And drinks Hennessy.
Well, apparently he was also doing stuff like insisting upon like not filming with everybody else and stuff like that, wasn't he?
Well, since
apparently he got really quite diva-ish, didn't he?
Right. Since the beginning of South Park, he always was. Look, they were doing their thing in Colorado, I think it is. His recording booth was always in New York because, well, look, he's an artist. He's got
He's the mayor of New York, isn't he?
He's got a recording studio in New York. It just makes sense rather than flying him out there. It's just like, look, we'll phone you. Here's your script. Do the lines.
Did he actually become to go out, like really think he was the mayor of New York, like he was in Escape from New York?
Well, no, I'm just saying from the outset, like Isaac Hayes was doing his lines, and they were directing him over the phone, and he'd email the lines over. They'd listen to it, and then they'd sort of phone. It's like, can you do it this way or can you do it that way? And then Isaac Hayes would do it for more takes, and then he'd email those. I say email. The voice lines would transfer digitally to their thing in Colorado, where the editors would all put them in, wouldn't they? But no, the what's like I remember this at the time. Isaac Hayes saying, "I will no longer be providing my voice for Chef in South Park, as they've insulted Tom Cruise on my religion of Scientology."
Oh, is that the Tom Cruise is in the closet one?
Yeah, and Isaac Hayes, who was a Scientologist, but now, as Reginald D. Hunter would say, he dead. He was a Scientologist till the point he dead. He died. Now he dead.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
Completely unrelated to Reginald D. Hunter. I heard a thing the other day. Apparently, it turns out that a man from another country that goes on a lot of panel shows is a sex pest.
Huh. Wonder what that's
but
about.
obviously, that's nothing to do with Reginald D. Hunter. Nothing to do with Reginald D. Hunter.
You know, I went
sending female comedians loads of dick pics and things like that, but obviously not Reginald D. Hunter. I don't even know how the two things became related, but obviously they're not.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. When I was in Oxford, I went to do the stand-up, and there was this Canadian stand-up guy, and one of the jokes he said is, "I think, to combat global overpopulation, men should wear a belt buckle with polonium or another radioactive element in their belt buckle." And it went on like this for a moment.
And this is comedy.
In other words, yeah, wear something highly radioactive to cause testicular cancer.
Yeah.
And then
to kill your little swimmers.
I got annoyed with this after a while, and I went out to like the bar to buy myself like 4 pints of Guinness and a bit of what did I put with it? Was it Kahlua or some other weird like thing? I think it was Kahlua or brandy I had in them. No, I wasn't. It wasn't Guinness. No, I had 4 pints of cider.
Oh, but are you about to? I was going to say, are you about to cause outrage?
And
putting Kahlua in Guinness, I thought you were about to.
No. So I thought
like that time you were pro flat Earth.
I went over the road and I went to the bar and I got myself 4 Guinnesses and some vodka, and I drank some, and then I carried them over, and then I got back to the thing and. I handed my drinks to my mates, the sort of fortified cider, that's what it is. And he was still going on about this population stuff, and I thought, fuck me, I was at the bar for 10 minutes, he's still doing this. So I just, because I was half cut at the time, because, vodka and cider works rather quickly, so I just said to him, "Hey, tell us a fucking joke." I don't remember what he said. He's just, he sort of eventually the game off stage. You want some jokes, well? Reginald D. Hunter's going to come on stage now. And then Reginald D. Hunter was coming on stage and was like, "Oh, I'll tell some jokes. You want some jokes? I'll tell you some jokes." So anyway, my girlfriend and I was saying about kinks, and I was like, "Scat play." And I was like, "What?" It's like, "I want to poop in you." I was like, "Well, okay, you better." And then he was just going into great detail about, like, if I'm going to be eating your shit, I want to control your diet. You better not be eating any, like, lobster or pork or anything like that. You be eating fruit and stuff like that. I'm just like, this is a joke. He's talking about eating the shit of a woman and carefully controlling her diet so that her poo's not too nasty when eating it. I was like, I'm paying money to listen to a man talking about what he gets up to with his girlfriend, and this is a funny.
It's not pleasant.
This is a funny joke. This is Reginald D. Hunter talking about eating poo. Now you see, I'm laughing about it now, but I'm laughing about it in the same way of, like, when you've just escaped from an imminent danger and gone.
So be careful about what you wish for, Hobbit. You may have got rid of that comedian, but you got Reginald D. Hunter in return.
Yeah, and
was that the monkey's paw? Did you have a monkey's paw in your pocket?
I suppose it was. It was like. But the reason I'm laughing at it now, it's like, you ever do that thing where you're in imminent danger and then the moment of danger's passed and then you go, God, that could have gone badly, couldn't it? And I'm just like...
Oh, the old... we'll be laughing about this in a couple of years' time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I went to see Reginald D. Hunter, and then he just talked about his sex life on stage, and the people were
Well,
laughing.
didn't Amy Schumer say said it she said when I was a kid I wanted to do stand up and everybody laughed. Well, they're not laughing now, are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's what she said, but I'm paraphrasing. I think
Yeah.
people probably said the same about whoever that bloke was that was on before Reginald D. Hunter.
Well, what's his name? The transvestite that speaks French, and there's like, oh, people used to laugh at me when I dressed like a woman. Why they're not laughing now? Because he became very serious about being a transvestite.
You ever seen that India Willoughby tweet?
Eddie Izzard, that's the one. And it's a shame because, Eddie Izzard, back when he could take a joke and dish out a joke, was funny. And I liked his French jokes as well. Because he does like sort of French that an Englishman would understand. So they're not asking me to understand the nuances of the French language. Because I've tried and listened to some French comedy. I'm just like, you're doing esoteric French, which not even all the French get. I have no idea what the fuck you're on about. And also a lot.
Do you not remember that India Willoughby tweet where India said what these comedians that take the mick out of trans people, they should get a trans person up there so they know exactly what they're laughing at. Well, I think it probably sounded better in his head than it did on the tweet.
Like when David Lammy went to do Master. Now that was comedy genius. The way he was like deliberately getting all those questions wrong just to look stupid.
Who came after Henry the Fifth?
Oh,
Henry the Fourth.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so back to Tony Blair. Nuclear power would be an essential part of the answer to these problems, the former Prime Minister wrote in direct contradiction to the green orthodoxy of many European states like Germany and Spain, which have pursued a rapid decarbonisation and a shift to wind and solar, while also engaging in a programme of destroying nuclear power plants. Good idea, that. How's that bold strategy, Cutler? How's that working out?
Yeah, well, it's working great. I mean, it's... Congratulations to Spain and Portugal for getting to net zero quicker than any other country.
Blair's remarks instantly shot.
Some are saying that net zero by 2050 is an optimistic goal, but Spain and Portugal were like, hold my cerveza, hold my sangria, hold my sherry, watch this. Net zero overnight. It's brilliant. Now, some might complain and say it's unsustainable and it's going to cause death and chaos and disease.
Well, you know what? There's always been like Luddites and naysayers, hasn't there?
But, there's always negative Nancys who just get in the way of progress. Portugal and Spain have shown us how to achieve net zero. The dream can be achieved. Yeah.
So he's divided. So Tony Blair's divided the left, as they've been hitherto between green absolutists bent on decarbonising the West and realists perhaps looking into a more pragmatic route. Even when the UK's left-wing government itself, there are deep divisions revealed this week. The Secretary of State for Energy Security and Net Zero, Ed Miliband.
Miliband,
I think we should call him.
So Ed Miliband's
India's best comic.
India's best climate czar.
Best stand-up. Ed Miliband is unquestionably a green ultra, and Blair's intervention has been interpreted as very much a direct attack on his approach of the economy being a small price to pay for decarbonisation. Ed Miliband. I mean, really. I mean, you wouldn't have him running a stall on a carnival and supervised, really, would you?
Who do you trust more, Sir Jimmy Savile, MBE, to babysit your children, or Ed Miliband to run the market stall?
Jimmy Savile all day long.
Oh God, that's a fucking shit choice, isn't it? That's a would you rather, which
it's a shit choice, but there is only one choice. It doesn't really need thinking about, does it?
Oh,
An unnamed Labour insider is claimed to have called the Blair comments a public tantrum, really unhelpful, while The Guardian has said appears to have been put on a full war footing to feature as many critical comments about Blair in his report as possible. So Tony Blair's now a far right neo-Nazi, I assume.
Tony Blair, I always suspected he was a far-right neo-Nazi, and now we've confirmed it. Well, you know what? Good on you, Sir Keir Starmer. Is he Sir Keir Starmer? He is Sir Keir Starmer, for proving that Tony Blair is a far-right fascist bigot and probably a sexist as well.
That was he was made Sir Keir Starmer. Was it services to dirty mattresses above kebab shops?
Yeah, and also, you know, services to saying we're not going to prosecute Sir Jimmy Savile, MBE.
Yeah.
You know, the saying, you don't have to be a nonce.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much the lot about Blair. So Blair is a far right neo-Nazi, you know.
Yeah, great, brilliant. Blair is going to join it. Oh, he'll be doing racist stand-up soon with Count Dankula.
Yeah.
Now there's a show I'd like to see. Blair and Count Dankula on the same ticket. And Andrew Lawrence is the warm-up act.
So Bill Gates is still fucking around with the weather, which is only going to end well for us, isn't it?
I'm really glad that unelected billionaires just go, hey, you know what? I'm going to put this poison into cows, which we're not going to call Bovaer, so actually it's not that. And that also...
my favourite part was when Arla came out and go, we don't use Bovaer, we use the other one.
That Bill Gates makes.
What fucking other one? We thought there was only one. What are you saying, Arla?
It's like, no, these aren't the kidnapped children you're looking for. We have our own kidnapped children from another supplier.
We've got kidnapped children, but they're not the ones we're looking for.
No, we got these are different kidnapped children. Oh, no, there's only one source of kidnapped children. Stop looking.
I never met the dead man.
No. We didn't burn him. To quote...
RFK Jr. has just revealed that this is from InfoWars, that the Pentagon/DARPA is
InfoWars is still up? I thought they were closed.
This is InfoWars Twitter.
Right, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Infowars.com is trading anymore, is it?
I'll have a look at their banner in a sec.
Let me have a look.
It's beyond secret geoengineering/chemtrail weather weapon project and pledged to end it. So RFK Jr. is going to end chemtrails.
I've just been on Infowars.
This is the most devastating move yet against the globalist deep state mad scientist system.
I've just been on Infowars.com and there's a website there. It loads up. There is Infowars.com. It's .com.
Can you buy water filters?
I tell you what, I think Alex Jones needs a water filter because they've put something in Blair White's penis that turns Alex Jones gay. Hey, you know that thing, like, you know, Paul McCartney's fake, Jimi Hendrix fake, and who's the other one? Alex Jones fake.
So do you think that Bill Hicks is actually dead this time, and this is another Alex Jones?
Right, because okay. So here's the thing, right? Never believed that Bill Hicks changed his career and became Alex Jones. However, I do believe that the man that was Alex Jones has been replaced with a crisis actor, and I'm going to call him a crisis actor. Because there's been some sort of crisis, you know, Alex Jones owning the national debt of America as reparations to some school thing, and they've now replaced him with a man which, like I said, something in Blair White's penis has turned the Alex Jones gay.
Well, that Blair White is sure is one hot young lady, isn't she? I know Ian would fancy her.
Yeah, well, you know, there's but like I said, Blair White.
InfoWars on Tumble. Does he mean tumble or does he mean rumble?
Tumble rumble, rumble tumble.
Tumble.
Rumble Stiltskin.
That's what Dom says. Dom says it's on Tumble.
I don't actually know what that is. Sorry.
Right, what else have we got? So we've covered the chemtrails.
Wow.
How about this one that I found on Twitter?
That's
Just a
surprising.
quick one. The Met Office thermometer in St James's Park is now surrounded by barriers, porta cabins, and diesel generators. Cue a press release stating record April temperatures for London.
And also record diesel emissions for London.
Okay,
Yeah.
so replies to this. Almost all of the Met Office thermometers are badly cited, particularly so for London. Here's the Northbolt thermometer next to the frequently log-jammed A40 Western Avenue.
My favourite is one of their thermometers is like right on the main runway of Heathrow, where it's like black tarmac. Black tarmac,
Chertsey
no
is surrounded
shade.
by 1,800 solar panels.
Yeah.
And I saw that thing recently where they said that solar panels actually kind of increase the temperature in they do like a microclimate thing.
Yeah, well, of course they do. There's no shade, and they're absorbing all that sun.
Same guy. This is John Dodders. He's actually saying some good stuff here. He said, "Here's the Heathrow thermometer measuring traffic and jet exhaust temperatures."
Yeah, exactly. It's bollocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Oh, there's not one generator next to St James Park weather station. There's 4 diesel generators next to it, I bet.
Well, you need it in case the other 3 stop working, because you see St James Park and its weather station, that's more important than the entire infrastructure of the Iberian Peninsula. Oh, by the way,
but this is someone.
like,
This is someone's DM from the
American
mountains.
journalists, they were referring to it as the Spanish-Portuguese peninsula, and a lot of people are saying, if only there was a catchy term for this peninsula, if only somebody had coined like some sort of Iberian term for this peninsula.
So this is a guy. Actually, I'll say. This is quite an interesting text exchange. So, Edge, browse, pop that up, open, show that. So it says, "Good evening. We've noticed you've left a number of comments on our content that violate our social media policy. If you continue to leave comments that violate our social media policy, we'll block your account from our channels." You mean like pointing out that many stations that still report each day don't actually exist and the data comes from other sites, which is basically fraud as temperature can vary widely over a few miles? Or is it that 70% of your sites are rated WMO grade 4 or 5 with errors between 2 and 5 Celsius? It's against your policies to have this pointed out. Oh dear.
Oopsie doopsies.
An L for the Met Office there.
Yeah.
So because it's like crazy, isn't it? Like, shame you can't get like today's weather, like a still of it.
Well,
the BBC.
The one which you don't that you don't need. What's it called? What don't you need? You don't need to go to the Met Office for stuff. You can just go to what can you go to? You can go to something. AccuWeather.com. That's it. See, you're not bound to the BBC. You can use AccuWeather.
Oh, while we're on conspiracy theories, is Bonnie Blue catching semen in condoms and growing consciousness under tunnels for the vampires?
Sure. Why not? Yeah. Okay.
do you want to hear a schizophrenic man talking about it?
Not really. Let's carry on.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, this one.
No, I mean, not really, but also I think the audience does want to hear it.
Let's put a schizophrenic man on them for you, Hobbit. Because
you
insisted on it.
Boy,
Area 51, bigger and better.
Right, here we go.
I'm not being funny, but I've just done a reel about clip-clop.
Okay, I really don't like it when
Amsterdam,
fucking hell, this is
Area
rot.
51, bigger and better.
Okay, I really hate it when the phrase starts with not being funny, but... And then it was just a bunch of schizophrenic babble.
Clip, clop, rip, rop. Yeah. It's only 30 seconds long, but you haven't got to listen to much of it.
I don't listen to any of it.
Paedophilia law entered the United Kingdom.
Word salad.
Watching that Bonnie
Gobbledygook.
I reckon she's getting paid, and the vampires are queuing up
Have you
And they're
noticed
taking
just
that,
how
collecting that,
excited he
doing
sounds? Like,
recondoms, doing the same thing,
I was watching Bonnie Blue.
and
Yeah.
they're
Oh.
growing the consciousness under
And then
time.
after I come, I had a moment of realization. Oh, she's
Just
harvested
think
my
about it,
energy.
mate. Just think about it. Just think about that, mate.
Oh, and after I come, I realised that she harvested my vril, and she's actually a psychic vampire that sucked out my life essence through me wanking. Ugh. Bonnie Blue, the vampire. Anyway, I'm going to wank off to Blair White tonight. She's hot.
Beyonce struggles to attract fans to her latest concert series as ticket prices plummet with stadiums failing to sell out. Oh dear.
Oh well, Beyonce.
Oh no. What's his Malfoy? Malfoy's in that new Harry Potter TV series. I'm gonna get you, Potter.
I was saying I understand Star Wars, but
Yeah. You don't know Potter. You don't know Potter.
I don't know Harry Potterhead. No, the only thing I know from that show is you're a wizard now, Harry. It's like no, I'm not. And I don't know what that's about, but you know he's upset that he's a wizard apparently. So
You're
with
a wizard, Harry.
you're a wizard, Harry. No, I'm not a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. And don't you forget it.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh.
Someone's put this is a bit political, but someone's put a dumper through the plots of brand new housing because obviously it's not going to go to British people.
Why would you want that?
Why would they want to stop this? Like, do they not want the new food? They don't like food.
Oh, right. Here's the thing, right? So you briefly touched upon Katy Perry, and then I went away to check on the water distiller. I just found out Katy Perry is a law written after her because she was bullying and financially abusing so many elderly people out of their homes. She would sue bedridden elderly people, subject them to long court dates, and then try and steal their home from them. She was worth $400 million while doing this to lower earning. And it's really badly written by a woman. She was worth more than $400 million while doing this to lower earning elderly people who reside in SoCal. Right, let me just try and read that phrase again because it's a bit confusing.
SoCal is Southern California.
She was worth $400 million while doing this to lower earning elderly people who reside. What? So she's saying she's doing this to elderly people that earn less than her because I don't think there's many elderly people that earn 400 million or more. So she was I don't this. But anyway, carrying on. If you dig deeper, it gets so much worse. Some of these elderly people were nuns, literal nuns who lived, practiced their religion, and served the community from the same place for decades. Their convent, Katy Perry wanted the land and harassed them ruthlessly for it. In a court hearing, one of the nuns literally died when her heart gave out from the stress of it all. So the Katy Perry law is like you can't like harass elderly people to the point where they have heart attacks because you've caused them that much distress. That's the Katy Perry thing. Right. So
Good old Katy Perry. Did you see that PR guy said that she really needs to shut the fuck up about going into space because it's not doing her brand any good?
I'm sorry, I don't actually watch this stuff, so
No, I saw it on Twitter. It was just a comment.
yeah. No, my Twitter feed tends to be like I'll tell you what I think this one user profile can sum up my Twitter feed. I'm mutuals with somebody called Autism Hexafluoride, and he talks about CNC milling, and he's also a Factorio enthusiast. So that's what Twitter is for me. Star Trek but racist and Autism Hexafluoride. There we go. Which I find funny, you see, because autism is not an element, and hexafluoride is a compound. Like, you can have sulfur hexafluoride, which is people find it interesting because it's like the mean gas, like people breathe it in and their voice goes very low. Because it's a very dense gas.
I'm just watching something very, very cruel on Twitter. It's you know, one of those glass bridges that you can see through.
Yeah.
And it's obviously got like an LCD screen on it that makes it crack when you walk.
Oh
on
yeah,
it,
and they
so it's
got
some sort of
speakers.
screen thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
The people just throwing themselves on the floor and stuff. It's hilarious. It's really, really cruel though.
Yeah. I mean, especially if they've been watching that thing. Was it the Korean Hunger Games thing? And there was that episode where it's like, is it toughened grass or is it ordinary grass? Either way, you'll throw yourself on grass and die. Because that's how Koreans talk. I know how Koreans talk. That's how they talk. Oh,
have you seen freeze branding is the new thing.
Freeze branding?
Yeah, so you know, like cattle branding, doing that, but it's freezing instead of hot.
So you're taking something cold and you're using it to brand something.
Yeah, people.
Ah.
Obviously, idiot people.
Oh, yeah, speaking of people being idiots, and often this stuff has been on TikTok for some reason, did you see the one the other day? It's ever so funny. You got these Zoomers, right, and be like, guys, I'm going to brand myself because hashtag branding challenge. And they do all these things where, like, I swear there's like some government, Chinese government psychological warfare, but like, what can we make stupid Guaylo do today? I know,
unless they're trying to figure out how stupid we are, so they can decide whether they're going to invade or not.
That, and how impressionable you are as well, because it's literally a case of like.
But the thing is, they're not doing that well because they're killing off the real idiots, aren't they?
Because they're telling these Zoomers to brand themselves, and they're putting the brand on because they've never watched a real branding video. You only put it on for like a second or two. But no, they don't do that. They just like put the brand on for ages and ages and ages, causing third-degree burns. And guess what? Most people can't survive a third-degree burn, and you can have palliative care as the rest of your tissue necrotizes and you die. So
it's, what is it? It's depth and area, isn't it?
It's putting a brand on for somebody for way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Way too long. Absolutely.
Because you only want to do a couple of layers, really, don't you?
No, you don't want to do anything at all. But some people go, yeah, I'll get branded.
Well, I mean, if you do.
If you do, then you should be shot in the head because obviously you're too retarded to live.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't advocate this. I'm saying people should get help, but you know how it is. Wait, no, this is ridiculous, right? Sorry, just to bring the attention back to BBC Two. My character, who is a drug dealer in this, being chased by police, they saw me jump into this biffa bin. I closed the lid on the biffa bin. They're running around the biffa bin, and yet none of them are opening the biffa bin and saying, "Look, mate, you're necked." And the thing is, like, I didn't even have to do this. All it would be is just a misdemeanor for being, not even a misdemeanor. It's like out past curfew, get a fine, get back on the streets and carry on. But in this case, like, no. And now I've stated it to the point where the police have called off the search. And I can literally see them walking away right now. So anyway, that was the excitement on BBC Two. You know, Jimmy White. He's just potted the black. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
So that was BBC Two. Anyway, back to BBC One. Now, speaking of chemtrails, here's an interesting thing because they're saying, oh, surely the commercial pilots would know if they've got additives in their fuel and such like. Well, not really. I mean, does a lorry driver need to know about all the deep?
They barely even pilot. Like, so much of it's done by fly-by-wire anyway, isn't it?
Is a lorry driver supposed to be a mechanical engineer and also an engine designer and is also a chemist that understands the exact properties of AdBlue or whatever else happens to be in this vehicle?
Or that they've even measured the stuff that's coming out of the back of their plane.
Right. So here's the thing I saw. jet fuel. This is from a guy called himself Michael Knight UK. Mike at Knight UK 007. Yes, commercial jet fuel is doped with additives to help dim the sun. Shills are in overdrive denying it! Exclamation mark. The base layer chemical spraying. Exhaust gas from doped jet fuel has a catalyst reaction with the base layer. The two processes work together, both are happening. In addition to this, I would like to point out, because there are plane spotters, they observe these planes that go in these, I think they called it a ladder search pattern, and they go over sections of the United Kingdom and other countries. They're non-commercial flights, and then after they all sort of head off about 6 in the morning and land about 9 o'clock, and the skies are completely dim afterwards. It's a patented process for adding the compounds to jet fuel. Commercial jets only leave lasting trails when there is a base layer spray in the air. Look into this for yourself. I'll admit I didn't believe it at first, but that's no excuse. I researched, it's legit. Well, I'm hoping you put your research here, because, I'm trying to do the show and relaying information. So I'm going to do the Rodsters bit. I have been told by Michael Knight that shills and bots are in overdrive since RFK Jr. mentioned it publicly yesterday. Massive damage control in action. Be wary of and check the replies of profiles who are calling it stupid, denying it, as saying our focus should be elsewhere. They do not want you knowing the truth. Latest. Showing this as I think it's highly relevant. This is precisely the type of thing I look for. Whilst it's unconfirmed and no guarantee of its authenticity, for me it stacks up and is exactly the kind of thing expect to leak from now on. This post includes a word you've muted. Oh, breaking. Yeah. Anything with breaking.
Have you muted breaking?
Yeah, so whenever there's a post that says breaking, it's muted. So this is the White Rabbit podcast. I've been contacted by an aircraft engineer after...
I haven't listened to that in ages. Tim Summit, isn't it?
After reading this, listen to RFK below. Hi, Nicola. I want to address the potential climate geoengineering happening
can
on
I
Australia.
interrupt you through important 14 breaking news?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is wrong with modern bread? Like when you squash it down and it doesn't come back to shape.
Now, I know what bread is. It is water, flour, yeast, and salt. And if your bread is anything else, right? You know that thing when they show the gender.
Because the other thing is the Asda fresh loaves. They don't cook them. They don't cook them thoroughly. So
You
end up with
know-
like a load of fucking part baked dough.
Right. Let's just rephrase it again. Have you seen the meme where it shows
Yeah.
the Phillips head and the flathead screw, and they show the rest as mental
Yeah.
illnesses? Some also have done that.
Yeah.
Instead, they talk about the genders. You got male and female are,
Yeah.
are real, and the rest are mental illnesses. Which is not a view here. We endorse YouTube, by the way. I'm just saying this is what cruel
No,
pranksters
that would
say.
be bigoted.
Yeah.
They'll be ignorant. They'll be ignorant.
And that's racist towards trannies, and we do not accept tranny racism here. Now,
Nope.
with love is love. There we go. So, I would do this the same. This is the ingredients for your bread. So you've got your 4 ingredients: water, flour, yeast, salt. Anything that's not in those ingredients is mental illnesses, not bread.
I think Dom was talking about, when we were talking about Blair White earlier, because it said classic post-nut clarity.
Oh yes.
No, he's in the post-nut fog though, isn't he?
Oh, you're saying he's pre-nut fog?
Whatever, yeah, some sort of nut fog.
Yeah. Well, that guy was. He sounded like he just had a wank over Blair White. It's like, let me tell you what I've noticed about Blair White and her feminine penis.
Yeah.
There's some.
Feminine penis.
There's some. They're putting something in Blair White's penis that's turning the Alex Jones gay.
Yeah. Blair White's a good-looking woman.
Yeah. He's all right, I guess. Yeah. And plus, the other thing, knows how to change a tyre as well. So, he's an alright guy in my book. Blair White. We hate tranny racism here at YouTube. We do not
Yes,
support.
we really dislike it.
We are about love and tolerance, and we hate those that are bigoted towards our beautiful trannies that are stunning and brave. and bold and beautiful. We have so much to learn from them, Hemi. Didn't you know?
I'm watching someone make a dinosaur in spray foam insulation.
But why?
I don't know why they do it. Why do they do it?
Why do they do that?
Why do they do that? I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm trying to do deals with customers and I've just realised I don't have any drugs on me. I should probably go and do that. Now, this is in Schedule 1, which you can see on BBC Two. Highlights of...
Is that like saying in Minecraft?
Yes, highlights of the snooker will be there. Oh, the police are after me again. Time to lead them towards the biffa bin where they can watch me jump in. And then I'll just, you know, hide there for a bit, I guess. Oh, where's the biffa bin? Is this enough? Yeah, he's going off that way, and I'm just hiding under a tree. That'll do. No, don't cuff me! Fuck, that didn't bloody work. No, no, no! Oh God!
This isn't live. This isn't live, people. This is in Schedule 1.
Oh God! Right, I'm in the biffa bin. I'm okay. I'm safe. I can do the show now. Right, so we're talking about geoengineering, or as we know it now, Ed Miliband's plan to dim the sun. YouTube.
What do biffa bins have a big role in that? Do they?
Yes, biffa bins have a great role in that. You can actually talk about geoengineering. So, oh yeah, this is RFK talking about Ed Miliband's plan to dim the sun. I wanted to address the potential climate geoengineering happening on Australia. I've been an aircraft engineer.
I thought dim sun was just how Ed Miliband's dad referred to him.
I quite like. Oh, I could do with some dim sun. I especially like those. You know those hoisin pork balls. They're good. Those ones. Yeah. With a nice steamed bun. So, oh, this isn't RFK. This is some other bloke. Unless RFK Jr. has been an aircraft engineer. So he says, I've been an aircraft engineer for 39 years. This is the wrong time to try and get an anti ball. I'm trying to put the anti ball somewhere in my mouth where it's not interfering with speech. So I'm using it to try and get myself that RFK speech cadence. About 8 years ago, roughly, we noticed...
So this is horror films I'm going to talk about now. Jordan Peele. What if Demons were racism? 78 award nominations.
Yeah, but basically these award shows are participation trophies for retards, aren't they? No,
yeah, they are.
That's not what they're doing.
I think there was a brief. I think there's like the odd. There's like the odd Academy Award winner that was a decent film accidentally, but generally they were films you. Generally they're films you avoid, aren't they?
Has your dog spotted a hedgehog?
Why? Can you hear something?
Yeah, he was barking. Are you like with the chirp you don't hear when your dog barks? It's just, you know, it's background noise.
Yeah, I think it's like it's.
You tune it out.
My dog's going off. Is that what you're saying of it? I don't think he was. I don't think he was barking.
I heard barking, and it was coming from like your.
All I can hear at the minute is doves.
Oh, unless
not doves, pigeons.
Maybe the barking is from the game. That might be it then.
Yeah. I think it's from the game. All I can hear at the minute is pigeons.
What? Not the voice of your co-host? That's been on 99% of episodes.
Well, obviously, and you. But
yeah.
Out of the window, all I can hear is pigeons.
Obviously, and me. Yeah. Cool. So this geoengineering stuff, right? About 8 years ago.
Hobbit. Hobbit, have a look at that meme I've just found. I just put it in general.
All right. Listen. I think you're squeezing. Now, for the audience,
I can't show that on screen because it's not very nice.
For the audience, I would like you to picture a Stretch Armstrong doll, and you're squeezing the head to the point that the eyes are looking in two opposite directions. And somebody is doing this with a human being that looks like Stretch Armstrong. And is hugging her.
And the caption is, bro, I think you're squeezing her too hard.
Yeah, so get your Stretch Armstrong dolls today. Now, about 8 years ago, roughly, we notice We notice, this is another ESL post. We notice a sudden appearance of a white-yellow powder deposit in the tailpipes of V2500 engines on the A320 aircraft. We all notice it, even the pilot. Back then, I suspect it was high sulfur content fuel. Now, with what has been highlighted on geoengineering operations, I suspect it may be something else entirely. I believe chemicals are being added to the fuel to enact solar radiation control.
Are they putting chemicals in the fuel to make the freaking frogs gay?
Yeah, and to make the airline maintenance staff Chinese. I contact Malcolm Rob.
I've got some breaking news here. The Nazis weren't history's only monsters. Japanese Unit 731 froze prisoners alive, dissected children without anesthesia, and unleashed plague bombs. To be fair, do we really want to talk about 731
citation?
Because that was pretty nasty, weren't it?
I need a source on that, bro. What's your citation? Oh, what salty Chinese? Oh yeah, we all know how reliable they are. I'm not saying it's the actions of unscrupulous Chinese, but I'm also saying that
Well, actually, this thread says it's the actions of one lone bad apple. What's his name? Something Ishii. Shiro Ishii.
Shiro Ichi.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Did bad things happen in World War II from one side to another side? Sources point to yes.
Yeah.
Were the Japanese uniquely evil? Well, not sure. The verdict's out on that one. Jury's undecided.
Oh, how about this one then? Americans explaining to Brits how 25 degrees C isn't hot while living in air-conditioned detached houses made of wood.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? When they say horror heat wave, 22 degrees incoming, look, 22 degrees is not shorts and t-shirt. Today it was 25 degrees, and that's why I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and I still am now. It's just, this is literally coming from Ed Miliband's desk, and he's saying, horror heat wave. You see, because Ed Miliband is a cave people and lives in a cave, so anything above 15 degrees and he starts to melt, and his human skin suit starts to peel off like wax. So that's why he wants to dim the sun, so that he doesn't need to be cooled down regularly.
Why didn't Ed Miliband just say no to the bacon sandwich? Why didn't he say, look, no, I'm Jewish, we don't eat bacon?
Oh, I was going to say...
Instead of proceeding to eat a bacon sandwich very, very awkwardly.
No, it's like, why didn't he do that and say, like, I'm not human, I don't eat human food, just give me another baby.
like David Cameron eating a hot dog with a knife and fork.
Well, it's like giving an iguana, like, a McDonald's burger, and it's like, this isn't a cockroach, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's
probably used to eating, like, children or something, isn't he?
Well, it's like trying to give tofu to a cat. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You know, it makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, right, so I was carrying on with what we're saying here. Contact Malcolm Roberts several years ago after he asked for proof of possible geoengineering activity that ended up being a dead end. I can tell you now with 100% certainty, CERTAONTY, certainty, there are no chemical tanks or dispensers on commercial aircraft anywhere in the world. I have ex-military co-workers who say military aircraft don't possess them either. It leads me to one conclusion. It's in the fuel. Additives are catalyzed for the heat of combustion and exits the tailpipe. I've only seen it on the V2500 engine, and they may be due to its unique exhaust nozzle design airflow. This is just a theory, but it seems plausible. Australia doesn't produce our jet fuel. Most comes from Singapore, where my family are from. You may have seen pictures of multiple tanks on board aircraft that pop out to be chemical tanks. They are not. They center of gravity water tanks used for flight testing of new design aircraft. They can pump water around the aircraft to simulate changes in center of gravity. It is a distraction to make the conspiracy theorists look incompetent. I think it's in the fuel, it hidden in plain sight. So, that's some Singapore bloke working in Australia saying that they put additives in the fuel. Now, interesting enough, because it's not really talked about enough here, but there is 2 documentaries, and it's written by a guy who claims to be part of these families. If you know about Foster Gamble of the Procter and Gamble family?
No, I don't.
So, about 10, 15 years ago, he released 2 documentaries called What in the World Are They Spraying and Why in the World Are They Spraying? And even back then in that documentary, they said that, look, they put aluminium oxide as a fuel additive in jet fuel because it makes it burn hotter. I'm not sure if it does. I do know that aluminium is used in some incendiaries, but I'm not sure how good that would be for jet engines. I'd think it would gum up the nozzles, but apparently that's what they do. I don't know how real it is. And also, I'm going to say that whilst I fully believe what you're saying, that they got these additives in the jet fuel which are, doing interesting stuff, I'm also saying that there are these flights, they're non-commercial flights, and they just go around in a ladder search pattern. Ladder search pattern, by the way, it looks like a ladder. You use it to cover a large area. And then they just fly back to the same airport. They're up there for a few hours and then they come back down. What's all that about? I think there's probably something to that. What it is, I don't know. I just find it very unusual. Why are there all these flights? And then the thing is, someone could say, "Oh, well, that's just a training flight, pilots have got to go up and get their air hours." Well, the thing is, I used to live next to. Actually, I lived next to 2 airports. Yeah, I've lived next to 2 airports, right? So one of them was an RAF base. And I can say it now. I used to live next to RAF Hayford, where the Red Arrows used to perform, and they do their training. So I used to get to watch them doing actual aircraft training. And I lived next to another airport, which was used to train pilots. And I can tell you now, they didn't just go around in ladder search patterns. They often flew around in circles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Chemtrails. That's interesting.
What's the point of that then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're training flights. They just go around, they do a ladder search, they come back down again.
They seem like, but some I haven't really gone. I've never really fell down the chemtrail rabbit hole, but I did see a bit the other day where someone said that they've found that a lot of these chemtrails are on flights that don't even exist, that they aren't on the. Because can't you see a lot of flights on some sort of, there's an app or website or something?
Yeah. There's websites which will allow you to track all the flights in the world, and like train anoraks, there are plane anoraks. There's also shipping anoraks.
Is it Skyscanner? Is it?
That's for finding you cheap flights and hotel deals.
Oh, okay, I'm wrong.
But there is.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen something like that. I know what you mean. But they're saying that some of these flights don't even exist for the chemtrails that are up there.
Well, the Skyscanner, if it's got an IFF, it will be on Skyscanner, and then it will tell you like if that what airline it represents. But if it's got no airline associated with it, then it's a non-commercial flight. And then, you see these non-commercial flights and they're just doing the same pattern every day. And you've got to ask yourself, well, it costs a fair bit of money to put an aircraft in the sky.
Well,
And the fuel's not
the
cheap
fuel
and the pilots aren't
The
cheap.
fuel additive would be the most sensible thing for it, because then you've got plausible denial, haven't you? Because they're like, well, we just put fuel in, like we don't, you know, there's only one fuel up.
What I'm saying is, though, does it not strike you as a bit, how can I put it, suspicious that you got these flights that they go up there every day and there seems to be no ostensible purpose to it, but after the flights have crisscrossed the sky in these hash patterns, it's all... Actually, why am I even talking about this? Like, it's like something we now know. It's like, this is Ed Miliband's plan to darken the sky. That's what it is.
Oh, I found something else, 14. Do you know when you've got a comb and you run your finger down it? Do you know that makes cats gag?
No.
Ah, yeah, they're running the finger down a comb and it's making the cats gag. There you go.
Yeah. Cats also get startled if you put a cucumber near them. They're strange creatures. And apparently, if you go "ma" to them, that's the sound for "come here." They'll stop what they're doing to come here if you say "ma."
So do you have to say it in like a Klingon accent? That sounds like you should say it in a Klingon accent.
Well, I've heard women. I've heard women say it different, but I've gone to cats and I've said "ma," and then be like "zuk zuk," and then they come to me. Kapla. Zuk zuk. Double. Oh no, that's...
Irano.
Uvavo. Ilana. So, speaking of aircraft, and that's not a commercial flight, and what's up with that then? Do you remember the Malaysia Airlines flight? It was going somewhere, then it vanished. Very mysterious. No one's really sure what happened. Never found the black box. Never found wreckage.
Yeah.
It was teleported. They used some teleport thing I don't understand. And I think we touched briefly on it last week when I said, oh, look, here's this weird sign. And this sign says that... it's a diagram and it shows time travel with this cone and our present as a flat plane. And... yeah. Did you know that... well, just... yeah, basically... yeah, they teleported it away. So I think probably the audience would like a bit of explanation as to that, but they'll have to wait because...
Actually, can I just say that this sounds like a film?
Yeah, carry on, because I need to find a biffa bin.
It's like, why does all this stuff sound like films? It just seems weird, doesn't it? So, okay then, so there's a film called Millennium that was that was released in 1989. So, Millennium is based on a 1977 short story, Air Raid, by John Varley. He started work on a screenplay in 1979 and released the expanded story in book-length form in 1983 as Millennium. So, okay then, so 1989, while on its landing approach, commercial airline is about to be struck by another plane from above. The pilot struggles to control the plane while the flight engineer checks the passenger cabin, returns to the cockpit yelling that everyone is dead and the corpses are burned. National Transportation Safety Board investigator Bill Smith investigates the accident. He and his team
not to be confused with Will Smith.
Yeah, no, Bill Smith.
Bill Smith.
He's not getting jiggy with
it.
I think he does get jiggy with it with Cheryl Ladd.
Wild West.
Bill. Yeah. It's Whistler from Blade, in case you want to know, plays Bill Smith. He and his team are confused by the flight engineer's words and the cockpit voice recorder, as they know no evidence of a fire before the crash. Meanwhile, theoretical physicist Dr. Arnold Mayer is also curious about the crash, which borders on science fiction. In a lecture, he discusses the possibility of visits from time travellers. So, About 1,000 years into the future, pollution has rendered humans unable to reproduce. Teams are sent back into the past to abduct people who are about to be killed. The plane crashes were part of this plan. The abductees are kept in stasis until they can be sent into the far future to repopulate Earth. Most of the current population is in poor health, but the time travellers, mostly women, are relatively healthy and are given the best food and care to pass for 20th century humans. Present day air is too clean for the time travellers to process. They smoke cigarettes to mimic their own timeline's atmosphere. So blah blah blah. There's a lot more stuff. Obviously, you don't want to spoil the film if you fancy watching it, but yeah.
Sounds like Terminator, but not as interesting.
Yeah, sounds like it's Terminator for people who really enjoy air crash. What's that documentary series? Air Crash Investigation.
Yeah.
You know, the problem with Terminator is just doesn't have enough air crash investigation in it.
Well, I did enjoy. I'm not sure if we talked about it in 14 words, but I really was into. Now, again, I am a plane anorak in the sense that I really like the BAE or Hawker Siddeley Whisperjet, and there was this.
But have you ever noticed that if you listen to enough conspiracy theory stuff, you go, "This is a film, you bellend"?
Don't know.
Or do you think it's the revelation of the method stuff?
Who was it said life imitates art?
Art imitating life, imitating art. It was probably French whoever said that, didn't they?
Yeah, something along that line, pretty much. So, yeah. That's it, pretty much. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad we got that sorted out.
Yeah.
Yep.
You really want me to find out the?
Oh, shall I read this thing?
Yeah, you can do your bit now.
So
I just wanted to say that before you said about the jet teleported. Maybe it's because they were stealing it for people into the future.
I'm sorry, audience, but Hemi's been trying to tell me about this film he watched that he enjoyed, and I just...
I'm not even sure I watched it, but I think I might have only seen the trailer for it.
It turned into white noise in my head because I tuned this sort of stuff out. I'm sorry.
You understood that you understood the basics of it, though, didn't you? That
yeah,
they stole the passengers from the jet and pushed them into the future.
Yeah, and then they took over their lives and they smoked cigarettes because they're cool dudes. I got that bit.
No, it's when they I don't know, they send some of them back to our time, but they smoke fags because their air's bad. I don't know. That sounds a bit weak.
They smoke fags because they're cool dudes. Let's get the facts straight here.
Smoking's cool.
Smoking's cool, kids. And
smoking's cool. Chicks dig scars, as the guy from The Simpsons said.
Smoking is cool. Trannies are valid, and we don't approve of tranny racism. Smoke cigarettes and love is love. YouTube.
Yeah.
There we go. I think I've covered all bases there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we don't believe in anti-Semitic canards, do we, Hobbit? We don't believe in anti-Semitic ducks.
Anti-Semitic...
Is that geese? What's a canard? Oh, it's a fox, isn't it?
No, that is French for duck. We do not support either French or English ducks if they are anti-Semitic. Because
we don't like anti-Semitic no anti-Semitic ducks on this podcast.
I heard that anti-Semitic ducks, they happen to be...
what's French for fox, then? Is that renard?
Renard, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I was just trying to think what's a vixen called, and it's like I don't know.
My French ain't bad, but it ain't great either. It's mostly the stuff I learnt at middle school.
Well, my French ain't bad either. It's pretty passable. I can go to a shop and I can order things.
Oh, I don't think I can go that far. I could tell him John Paul's in the garden.
Yeah, and do you know the difference between a butcher's and a baker's and a candlestick maker's?
Where's the church? I can ask him where the church. Où est l'église?
Yeah. Dondo esta la boulangerie, s'il vous plaît, danke.
Yeah.
I think I covered all bases there.
Yeah.
Yep. Donde esta biblioteca? Oh, why do I keep going this way? The coppers are there. So, oh, I can't remember. Malaysia Airlines flight done disappear. Chucked black box out the window.
Oh, you're doing this in pigeon, are you?
No, because I would have to have brain damage to do it in pigeon. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm not like the BBC guys with their degrees in languages that understand these sorts of things. I can't do it. Why is that lazy good for nothing not doing any work? Oh yeah, because it's 4 a.m. Right. USA-229 is a pair of naval ocean surveillance satellites, also known as NOS, in control of the US Navy. Their systems are classified, but the purpose is to track boats and airplanes. The satellites were launched in 2011. BAE Systems was awarded the $50 million contract in 2010 to develop Argus IR. Testing was spring 2012, consistent with the satellite launch having the Argus payload. Argus IR further expands military capability by providing 24-hour day-night reconnaissance and surveillance capabilities over a much wider area than previously possible, said Dr. John Antoniades. Argus IR will provide at least 130 independently steerable video streams to enable real-time tracking of individual targets throughout the field of view. This is the real location of the USA 229 on March the 7th, 2014, and that bubble is the coordinates of the satellite video. USA 229 relays to NROL 22, which beams the data to ground-based computers.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, Hobbit. Have you watched Adolescence yet?
Which beams data to the ground-based computers to provide the fully interactive video. And this video here, what are they showing? So I'll try and describe this for the radio audience. So what we got? We got the bubble represents where the satellites were focused. So they're coming up to a coast somewhere. I don't recognise the landmass. Oh yes, I do. That's Southeast Asia. That's Indonesia? Yeah, this Singapore. So just from a radio audience, to the east of this video is Singapore. And this Malaysia Airlines flight, it's somewhere over the Indian Ocean, it goes missing. So they're flying overhead, they're looking at this bubble, and what happens? So they fly overhead, look at the bubble, still looking at the bubble, it's still there, and the bubble's still there. They're now flying it over into what used to be called Indochina, and right, I don't understand the significance of this video. They basically just did a thing where they were showing these two satellites flying over this area of interest, which is the last known location of Malaysia Airlines flight. And the guy is now... The guy who posted this said, "Give me my motherfucking Pulitzer." And I'm sorry, but he's got a bunch of like data here about the Argus Eye, but what's the conclusion? And who's this bloke here? President JFK parody? Question mark says, "Well done, good sir. The pinnacle evidence no one can deny. The most important word quote here is steerable surveillance systems. They knew where to look and were observing the flight from two angles. Time to confront everyone about this. Obama, Trump, Lynn, CIA, Dodd, ICC. I don't even know what half of those things are. Let's fully solve this using the two images you uploaded. Official BE Systems documents confirming the Argus IR capabilities and timeline. Here's the deep breakdown and conclusion. Show more. Let's have a look at this thing. See if it can get anything here. Timeline proven. Contract award. Yeah. So anyway, they're saying BAE Systems developed a satellite that the US Navy uses. Right. We got that. confirmed that the Argus IR was operational 2 full years before MH370, which was in March 2014. Capabilities proven: 24-hour surveillance, day-night ops, high-resolution infrared video tracking, minimum 256 independent video streams at 640 by 480 pixel resolution simultaneously, 200 megabits per second data link capacity. Each stream can either be a tracking window following moving objects or a fixed window, which is static surveillance. Confirmed that the Argus IR could track hundreds of objects independently in real time across a massive field, including a Boeing 777, which is like the MH370. Logical deduction from documents. Given this Argus IR was in orbit, operational and capable of recording MH370's flight in March 2014, USA 229, equipped with this system, was directly over the Gulf of Thailand, Southern Asia, during MH370's deviation disappearance. It could easily generate multiple video windows, one tracking MH370 itself, and the others observing surrounding atmospheric phenomena like the orbs. I didn't know anything about orbs, but I don't know much about this. I just found it very confusing how they could lose this flight and the black box was lost, and I thought it'd been shot down, because like you know something.
Well, I thought the theory they were running with at the time was the pilot had gone rogue and
turned off
disabled the tracking and landed the plane somewhere.
Yeah, but there's like redundant systems in a black box, and they've even survived being shot down. So I don't know what sort of violence you have to use to do this. The idea that the plane's been teleported, I mean, it's implausible because I've never seen this done before. But I'm not saying it's
impossible. I don't know. You find me a better explanation of it. I think it's the best way to say it.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's like no wreckage has been found. Yeah. The plane never turned up anywhere, and the tracking was.
You're saying that the theory they ran with isn't possible.
And I'm saying that these schizophrenics that haven't spelled out correctly, but this guy in the replies is putting it out. So I'll just carry on reading what he says. So the video bitrate and image processing capacity was more than enough to capture high-speed, multi-object dynamic events like the orb portal. Thus, USA 229 with Argus IR would have directly recorded everything happening to MH370. And that video, which I was describing for the wireless listeners, the ones that don't watch the video segment of this, that video shows two satellites going over the Gulf of Thailand in the Indian Ocean, and they would have been able to observe MH370's last known location at all times when it disappeared and vanished. So, the proof synthesis. This means the US Navy via USA 229 knew exactly what happened. The satellite could clearly observe and record the orbs and the portal event at high frame rates and high resolution. Well, they say high resolution. I mean, 640 by 480 is not high resolution. However, that's enough to say, well, there's the plane, and now it's not. From at least 256 video feeds covering the scene. Argus IR video plus ground-based computers via NREL22 relay produced the stitched satellite view video we now see leaked online. The leaked matched satellite positioning, technological capacity, and the timeline perfectly. I've not seen this stitched satellite view video, so if somebody knows what that is, I'd like to know about this MH370 satellite video showing it disappear. There is zero room for coincidence left. Final summary conclusion: MH370 was captured in real time by Argus IR aboard the USA 229, which tracked the orbs and the dimensional event. The evidence or trail proves that technology was operational, positioned, and fully capable. This is not theory anymore, it's confirmation. What happened to flight MH370? I don't know, but you got these people talking about it, and they seem very confident that they know what's happened, and that these specific satellites were recording the event as it disappeared. So I'll copy this image here because this sort of describes quite a lot. And oh God, my fingers hurt. I had that when I was mowing the lawn. I don't think I picked up any stinging nettles. What does this image do? Oh, so I'll describe this image for those. US Navy was tracking MH370. The satellite would see everything. The orbs and ports of the event happened. So... Right, yeah. That's it. I've covered Ed Miliband's chemtrails. I've covered... You've covered Tony Blair saying, steady on, guys. This is going to set the agenda back. And now I've covered the strange disappearance of MH370. We've done good timing on today's episode, I'd say.
We've solved it all, Hobbit.
We cracked it. So, guys, look, no more conspiracy theories. That's it. You can all go home and rest assured.
Well, you know, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, what is a conspiracy theory? I don't know. It's the time between you figuring out what's going on and them admitting it, isn't it?
Well, this is why I'm eagerly looking forward to when YouTube put a disclaimer on this video, and then I can say, actually, YouTube, here's Ed Miliband saying that they're going to dim the sun and spend £800 million a year, because when people were voting for Labour, they did say, you know what? You're just not, because they're talking about that tax deficit, so they had to cut the winter fuel allowance. But at the same time, they're cutting the winter fuel allowance. They've definitely got all this money for doing these weird experiments, which... Did you vote to say...
Did we talk about the twins last week?
Did you vote to dim the sun? I didn't vote to dim the sun.
Well, there's a lot of things we don't.
Oh yeah, the twins video. God, yeah. Show them the twins.
Did we cover that?
No, we did. We did not cover the twins.
Oh fuck! These pair need to be covered. They are fucking amazing.
By the way,
hopefully the video's on it because it's on Unexplained Histories. So
right,
I'll play the video.
Here's the thing: before this video starts, right? Twins.
Yeah, go on.
Right, numerous twins, right? They make their own language, and they're all distinct languages. Do you remember that teen exploit drama called Skins? There was two identical twins in the first series, and their language they called Twinish, and that was the real language which
there's quite a famous pair of murderers that were twins.
Uh-huh.
And they did the same, spoke in their own language. They didn't really like anything outside of themselves. They're very insular, aren't they? As well, some twins are, aren't they?
Wow, you know they got some sort of communication there that doesn't make sense.
So what happened? Australian sisters recently went viral after appearing in a 7 News Queensland interview during which they spoke about an armed carjacking incident that they witnessed nearby. So here we go. These two are absolutely amazing.
Well, we were cleaning our birds and we heard this big bang. We said, oh,
now,
no,
hang on, just a second.
So we drop everything.
Can you pause it? Pause it. Zoom in on that thumb going into Uranus. Now, just to explain what's happening to the wireless listeners, if you're listening to this, no, there's not an error with the video. What's happening is there's these two identical twins who, for some reason, dress the same, and they're talking at the same. So that slight delay you hear is them saying exactly the same phrases, but unbidden. There's no like visual. They're not looking at each other. They're not like cueing each other on to talk. This is just them.
They don't, and also I'm not showing it to the YouTube audience either. So these twins, they're also not looking at each other. They're looking straight at the interviewer and just talking.
That's it. So they're not giving each other cues when to talk. They just talk, and they seem to be saying exactly the same thing at the same time.
We went running out the front. We seen Mum running out from the house there, and then other cars were pulling up and checking to see if the person was okay. And one guy, he was up there with our mum, and he went up there and he was coming back down towards us.
God, it's so fucked up.
He's got a gun.
What?
It's just,
my heart started to pound, and I said,
it's
"Oh,
like,
Mum,
if it was a
where's
comedy
Mum?"
bit and they've been rehearsing this over and over, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's very good. But the way they just do it for so long and there's no fun. I mean,
Well, this whole clip, we're 42 seconds in, and it's 3 minutes 34 seconds.
oh my god, it carries
this up
on.
for.
I thought it was just like for 30 seconds.
No, 3 minutes they talk like this for.
Oh my god, let's listen to the rest of it now.
And poor Mum was stuck up there, but apparently our brave Mum, she goes, "Are you all right?" Because he had all blood all over his face, and he goes, "I'll shoot you." She goes, "Hey, I'm here to help."
And Mum distracted him to make him look the other way, and he looked the other way, and Mum ran
into the bush.
And the other thing that you can't see as well is that
And then
at certain points, one of them's dominant, and then at other points, the other one is.
Yes.
How did she distract him initially? Did she just say, like, look the other way?
Well, he must have been going, I don't know, but he looked the other way, and then that's why she did what an escape.
and then I'm so glad that young guy, he said, run.
He's got a gun, and then we've seen heaps of people running into our facility here and our house yard.
Our house yard as well, and they were hiding in there too.
So we went running around, closing and locking all doors.
This is
So
so.
it slows down about here. Do they realise how freaky they're being, and they're kind of like starting to try and be a bit normal?
It's so fucked up. It's. I mean, if I was this assailant.
Again, a minute 34. There's still another nigh on 2 minutes of this.
I mean, if I was this assailant and these two were just like talking to me in this way, I'd be like, oh my god, I need to lay off the drugs.
We didn't know where he was
then
at the
pulled up,
time.
and then he pulled up, like the car what was over the road there. He went and approached that car and pulled the young girl out he was driving.
And her mum
She
that
goes,
was in the
Car
car
too. She goes, yes, take me. Yeah.
So how many people do you think? Did they come in here as well?
Yeah,
Then?
yeah, people. Oh no,
but
not
not
the
people.
family. No. We just was speaking to him out the front, and we gave him all a big hug. Yeah, and the guy who said,
Oh, they're adorable as well.
he said thank you.
We gave them all a big hug.
He
Oh,
saved
yeah.
lives.
Yeah. All I was thinking about when we were running,
I hope he doesn't up down.
yeah, we were so blessed.
How close to him do you think you were?
Well, see, he was up there, and we were past that.
When you
Maybe 100 meters.
I think
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we're
yeah.
witnessing here
All of it at the time.
is
No,
the
we
strange.
just realised it.
What we're witnessing here is the strange case of like one soul in two bodies. Has to be. There's something going on because the thing is, they did you notice at no point like they were saying they said and I noticed it and they both said I in unison and I noticed.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
literally it's the one person that's occupying two bodies there.
So do you think it's like quantum entanglement, Andy?
Look, you can use whatever term for it. In fact, I've got a little personal story here, which is a bit faulty, right? It's about Saint Anthony of Padua, and my dad was trying to rationalise it, saying when you're praying to Saint Anthony to find lost items, you're just jogging that part of your mind which remembers where they are. And
Big Worm says that's how Ed and David Miliband talk.
God. The thing is, right, I said to him, look, Dad, if there's a rational explanation for it or not, that's fine. But I got annoyed with it because it's just like, look, why are you trying to rationalise the supernatural and make it mundane? And I didn't say that to him because I didn't want an argument. I just said, look, whatever is responsible for me finding these lost items, including items I didn't even know I'd lost, because I found my cousin's business card and I sent him an email. I'll check. I won't check now if he's replied. But I was looking at that and I was thinking to myself, come on, brain, you nearly had it right. Either way,
The stuff you're finding.
I'm grateful for Saint Anthony's work helping me. Oh, and here's a fun little anecdote about that as well. So I was praying to him for 2 days straight. And then the first day, I said, look, I'm missing this bag and I'm missing this. I forget what the other item was that I asked for. But it was a bag and it was something else. And that was it. It was a bag and my wallet. And I sort of, immediately after doing that, I sort of laid down. It's like, that bag's behind the chest of drawers. I haven't seen that bag in months. And then I was like, I thought, look, I wasn't asking you to work miracles. I wasn't expecting miracles. And if the miracles are going to happen, I wasn't expecting it to be practically immediate. But thank you very much. That's brilliant. The other thing which I sort of... I had this meal, ratatouille and fish, and I thought, oh, you know what would be really good with this? If I could find that fancy salt, that sea salt from France. And then I thought to myself, no, I'm not going to ask St. Anthony to help me out twice today. That's just being greedy. And then literally as soon as I thought that, I saw the salt hiding in the corner. And I was like, I wasn't asking St. Anthony, but thank you very much. I'm very grateful. And so I had my fancy salt with my nice meal. And then the next day I sort of prayed to him and said, look, you helped me a lot yesterday and I really appreciate that. And I've got to ask your help now because I'm missing this and that. And then not only did I find like the other things which I was missing, including a raspberry Pi for my dad. That's the thing I was looking for. He's got it now and he's quite happy with it. Also, little aside, Velaman do oscilloscope modules which you can plug into the Raspberry Pi. My dad's very interested in that.
Right, we're ready to finish these twins off.
Nearly. It's one of those things that I find it supernatural, and I wasn't expecting a miracle to happen this week, but it did happen to me, and I'm very grateful for St. Anthony. And finding my cousin's business card as well. And if you've ever lost something, look up Prayer to St. Anthony of Padua, and then in your petition you tell him about the items you've lost, and then said Hobbit sends his regards. He knows who I am.
Let's listen to these two nutters.
What I mean, when he was on the run and you had all the people in here, what were people talking, or were you?
I guess no, silent, and even one young couple went behind our friend's caravan and hid. Yeah, and we seen a leg, coming over our fence. There was oh, that's not him, but it was another person.
Someone literally climbed over the fence.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
It is bizarre.
I found another one. Bizarre interview. What was it? Identical twins are asking unison on live TV. So this is from 2016. So Piers Morgan can't stop laughing while talking to super identical twins. I know it's got 10. Do you want to listen to it? It's got Piers Morgan on it though.
Let's do it. I've psyched myself up for it. Let's do it.
This is 5 minutes.
Our next guests are not only identical twins, but consider themselves to be really one person.
Yeah, for more than 40 years, Bridget and Paula Powers from Australia have been speaking in unison, wearing matching outfits, and they share a room, and they've become an internet sensation as a result, and they join us now from Brisbane. Well, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you both, and greeting.
Oh my, this is like something out of Star Trek. This is fantastic. So, look, you two, you even laugh at the same way. We should try this.
This is Brisbane. I think this is the same twins.
Ladies, let me ask you. You obviously know each other better than anybody else. How identical do you think you are? Not just in the way you look, we can see that. And in terms of your personalities, do you feel like you are really one person?
Sometimes we do feel like just one person.
That's the same
yes,
pair,
we
isn't
do.
It's them. Yeah.
Yeah, so they'd already been famous like 7 or 8 years ago.
So they're just known.
Yeah.
And known
they're
entity.
known for being, yeah.
So what we are seeing there is the same person.
Yeah.
Actually, bizarre. I mean, again, what refer to the twin episodes of Damn Twins, Why You Nasty?
Yeah.
because oh well, actually, it could be sort of summarised as "damn India, why you smelly," but
Yeah.
That twins episode was something else. One could say. Yes, quite something else indeed.
What else we got? First physical evidence of gladiators fighting wild animals has been found.
I mean, there have been lots and lots of documented evidence that they. Well, I'm just saying we had lots and lots of documented evidence of gladiators fighting, and we had the itineraries. This is not
so
a new thing.
Basically, what they've found is using modern techniques not available at the time of the original excavation back in the 1990s. Tim Thompson, a forensic anthropologist at Maynooth University in Ireland, has now been able to determine that these are in fact the bite marks of a large carnivore, most likely a lion.
It's like, well, the Romans talked about.
So they did a renewed examination of skeletal remains, unearthed at Driffield Terrace, the site in York in England.
So in other words, the Romans, who claimed that gladiators were fighting to the death and against wild animals in highly dangerous combat sports, turns out, yeah, they actually were. Is this thing with like archaeologists now where, well, we assume everybody is a lying sack of shit because we're all lying sacks of shit, and then when they go,
what's English anyway?
And then when we find out, when we investigate, it's like, well, it turns out they're not lying sacks of shit, and they were telling the truth. And now we have incontrovertible evidence because the injuries on these skeletons are consistent with bite marks from a lion. Wow.
Okay then, Hobbit. Here's a question. You're probably this is gonna be a one-word answer from you probably. How close are we to being able to build a real-life RoboCop?
No.
Just no. So what do you think's stopping us then? Would it be the mind interface? The
Racism.
brain interface. Racist.
Racists are stopping RoboCop from expressing his feelings.
Yeah.
Because of the racist bigots, we can't have rights for robots.
But they have done a lot of brain research, haven't they? So I think it's possible.
No, they haven't. No, the racists have
Possible,
stopped.
but crap. No.
The racists with their small bigot minds have stopped brain research because they were just being all racist to the robots.
They just won't give Fauci enough money to beat up monkeys with baseball bats, are they?
Look, all I'm saying is, if you want to study the effects of sand fleas torturing beagles to death, you're going to need a lot more beagle
don't
puppies.
Forget Monkey Island, where he's beating the monkeys, whatever he's doing.
Yeah, but
with
like
monkeys.
So here's the thing, right? I don't actually care about monkeys, but I do care about puppies, and I don't like that Anthony Fauci goes, yeah, I'm going to use taxpayer money to research how long it takes to torture beagle puppies to death. I mean, if he wants to, put monkeys in a gas chamber and, see how many thousands of cigarettes does it take to cause them lung cancer, I mean, knock yourself out. Monkeys are going to do that anyway, whilst fighting each other to the death over fried chicken. It's ridiculous. But a poor little beagle puppy where it's like, yeah, what we do is we put these, iron shackles... He looks
at you and wags while he's being eaten to death by sandflies.
Yeah, we'll just, stick their head into this, airtight seal, and then these sandflies will just, bite it to death. And what's the research reason for that? Oh, nothing. I just saw some things that Joseph Mengele did, and I wanted to see whether they're real or not. So I was going to enact it on puppies instead of whoever Joseph Mengele's victims were.
Right, Hobbit. I know you poo-pooed Blue Origin's first all-female flight, but
what?
We need to talk about the weird conspiracy theories that surround it.
Do we?
Weird conspiracy theories.
Hang on. This is sounding highly pretentious, right? There's this presumption that need to talk.
They're fucking weird. They're weird conspiracy theories. All right, Hobbit.
Weird conspiracy theories rule. Okay.
Yeah. So, After the crew had returned, I've cut out a load of guff because I can't be asked. After the crew had returned to Earth, however, the flight quickly became the focus of a number wild conspiracy theory. Wild, just fucking nuts, off the chain conspiracy.
Wow,
real fucking crazy conspiracy theories.
You make my heart
With some
sing.
people even claiming the entire mission had been faked.
This mission fake?
Of crackpots, silver hat wearing crackpots, swivel-eyed loons. Alleged abnormalities included everything from the door opening mechanism on the capsule to the way Katy Perry's hair looked in zero gravity compared to that of astronaut Sunny Williams. Some even claim to have seen a mannequin sitting in the capsule.
Was
If
that
we
their
look
sex doll?
closer, however, most.
Would they be like, look, you might get bored in your 11-minute flight up to the edge of the atmosphere,
With your
right?
actual with your actual 4 minutes in space.
Right. So you might get bored with your 11-minute flight where you go really high. So we put this mannequin sex doll there, you know, just for entertainment purposes. Please do not use the mannequin sex doll.
Well, if we look a little closer, however, most, if not all of these alleged anomalies have conventional explanations, Hobbit.
Oh, good. I'm really reassured by that. Please do continue.
The mannequin image, for example, Hobbit, you fucking naysayer, swivel-eyed, tinfoil.
I am
loon,
just a negative
taken from-
Nancy.
was taken from an earlier test flight, which dummies were used in place of human passengers. Oh, some
say the dummies
were
are
put in
still
after the
there.
test.
Boom, boom.
Some might say the dummies were put in after the test flight. The appearance of
But here at
the
14
appearance of
Words,
Katy
we'd
Perry's
never
hair-
cast such aspersions like that, would we now?
No. The appearance of Katy Perry's hair can be explained by the fact that she and her fellow crew members would have had their hair professionally styled before liftoff. Whereas Sunny Williams had spent months in space when she was photographed with her hair sticking up.
Fucked. Yep.
Yeah. Fucking bunked, mate. Debunked like Mythbusters.
And
In other
dare I
words,
say,
there is really no
bunked.
truth to any of these conspiracy theories at all.
Yeah.
So, Hobbit, take your tinfoil hat off. It's all real. Trust me, bro.
Yeah, fuck you fucking idiot, Mr. I thought that women went to the edge of space for a bit and then came back down.
Yeah. There are even those who believe the Earth is flat, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, Hobbit.
Oh, and some loons say that Elvis is still alive and he's on the moon.
With Katy Perry.
And some people say that Sir Keir Starmer covered up for Jimmy Savile's historic sexual abuses. Mad! And some people say that Ed Miliband got this crazy plan to dim the skies in the UK. Oh wait,
Oh, Hobbit.
the last one's actually. I was going to say, you know, that crazy conspiracy theory of Ed Miliband to dim the sky. Sorry, that's actually what his plan is.
Yeah. Hobbit, Dyson spheres can only be built in one type of star system, study finds. Did you know this?
Oh, great. Well, I'm sure glad we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then, so moving on, I guess.
Yeah. Such a structure would be incomprehensibly large, akin to putting together something much larger than the Death Star from Star Wars.
That's not... No, journalists, you're fucking wrong, right? Bad journalist, no mark, see me after class. Right, you're saying...
Look, just smack him on the end of the nose. Here you go, Hobbit. Here you go, just full on rage bait. Read the article I've just put in.
I refuse to read this fucking article, right? Just on the premise of saying that a Dyson sphere would be incomprehensibly large. No, look, a Dyson sphere is not incomprehensibly large, right? It's a sphere which goes all around a star. That's massive. That's, dare I say, astronomically large. It's not incomprehensibly large. The only reason it's incomprehensibly large is because you're one of those people that cannot conceptualise a rotating apple in your mind as it's been cut into juicy pieces that you can eat. Oh, I should get some apples next time I go shopping.
Oh, God. Now, though, a study headed up by Colin McKinns an engineer at the University of Glasgow has potentially found solutions to this. And all you have to do, Hobbit, is what you do is you do it in a binary system where one star is bigger than the other one.
Why? Go on, I'll bite. Why?
Yeah. He found that under very specific circumstances where the binary system has one star that is much smaller than the other, a stable Dyson sphere can be constructed around the smaller star and be held in place with its movement around the larger star acting as a gravitational anchor.
Yeah, but why?
The smaller star would need to be 10 times smaller than its partner, and the sphere itself would have to be very thin. Otherwise, its own gravity would mess up the balance.
Yeah, you see, if you had this around, like... Okay, so I'm not a Dyson Sphere engineer, right? Even though I've got like 500,000 Dyson Sphere program. But, you see, the thing is, right? You make a Dyson Sphere around a star, and ideally, you don't have other massive objects interfering on it. And you probably use like some sort of material that can survive. I'm saying that these mega engineering projects where you build this artificial object around the star, so you can completely harvest its solar output.
Well, it couldn't be a sort of conventional metal anyway, would it? Because it'd melt. Wouldn't it?
Well, okay, so if it's far away enough from the star, it wouldn't melt. But what I'm saying is, it's not going to be made out of tinfoil. It's probably not going to even be made out of titanium. It probably could be made out of conventional material, but it'll probably be like some sort of diamond or carbon fiber sort of weave with maybe some advanced composite we haven't thought of. Like, oh, if you mix this composite of... this is going to sound funny, right? But it's like, oh, we've invented this new composite that's closer. It's actually just an alloy of carbon and steel. It's just steel. So I'm saying if you've got carbon fibre with some sort of steel, that might work. But no, there's nothing to say you couldn't do this, because here's the thing, right? Before you get to a Dyson sphere, have you ever heard of a concept called a Dyson swarm? And a Dyson swarm is probably a lot more feasible and probably a lot more useful. So instead of having your stable Dyson sphere around a star, what you do is instead is you make a swarm, which is you just have a bunch of solar sails, and a solar sail we could make with existing technology, like a mylar sheet with a silvered edge. That would make a pretty good solar cell. You make it very thin, and then you extend it across a thing like, I don't know, 2 kilometers wide. So imagine you've got like a diamond shape or square shaped sail, or a hexagonal shaped skirt. Doesn't matter. You've got a sail. It's really big, right? And yeah, it's good. And that would work. And then what you do is you just make so many of these sails that eventually more and more of the sun of this star would be obscured by all these solar cells floating about, until the point that you've effectively made a Dyson sphere, except it's a swarm of these solar sails instead of just like one large megastructure. It's in fact a swarm of still large structures, because we're dealing with astronomical sizes here.
There's still the problem of, if you encase the sun, then obviously you're fucking the whole galaxy up, aren't you?
Well, here's a fun thing.
Galaxy.
I've recently been rereading.
Dom says you can use Dyson technology to keep your carpets clean. Not likely. Dysons are the shittest vacuums ever.
I'm happy with my Henry Hoover. So, also made in England, as opposed to Dyson, which is shipped off to Vietnam or somewhere.
Would a Henry sphere be better than a Dyson sphere?
Well, we're talking about Freeman Dyson, who's not to be confused with the charlatan quack James Dyson. So anyway, I am rereading the Commonwealth saga. So it starts off with, I think it's Judas Unchained, then it's Pandora's Star. And it starts off with this observation of 2 stars within 3 minutes of each other get covered in a Dyson shell. And the speculation is it's not matter, it must be a force field, because it just comes on instantly. There's like one period it's a star, and then the next period just shell. And then when the human observers go up to this Dyson shell to observe it,
The Dyson sphere.
they notice that there's no.
Was Sean Connery in this book? Is that why you're doing that?
That's correct. You see, so they're observing the shell, and they notice that nothing came in or out of the shell except for infrared radiation. And the speculation by the astronomers was that you see, the infrared radiation, as it gets to the edge of the Dyson sphere, it's if it was reflected back into the system, eventually the star would heat up and all the life inside would start to boil away. So by having infrared radiation dissipate out of the shell, it would keep life inside the shell viable. And then things happen, and they find out that it is actually true. No, if you've never read Judas Unchained and Pandora's Star, I'm not going to spoil it for you. This is more or less what was on the blurb, but I thought that was a very interesting quirk. If you were building a Dyson sphere, you would have to have some sort of system. Well, you probably would do it in an uninhabited system, but in this case, these shells.
Because you'd cause some serious problems for the existing flora and fauna in the region.
You do it in an uninhabited system, but as it was, there's in the book very early on.
Arthur Fauci would do it in an inhabited system.
Well, he would have a system inhabited with beagles, and then drop in xenomorphs and and what's that horrible creature in Tremors? He put that in as well. And just see what happens.
Yeah, I just call them sandworms, because that's basically what they are.
It's 75% different sandworms, and you'll be hearing from the estate of Frank Herbert about this.
Oh, have you seen there's a new TV series that follows on from the original, because they've got the rights back to the original now.
What?
So it's Kevin Bacon.
Oh, Tremors.
Doing the new Tremors sequel.
For a minute, I thought you were going to sort of try and torment me and say, hey, they're doing more shitty Dune adaptations on the telly no one cares about.
I thought. Did you say the sci-fi one's probably the best one?
It is the truest one to the books. The Lynch film is beautiful, and I love it. But if you want something that's as close to the books as possible without actually reading for yourself, because
it's going to be awesome when we can go to AI. Do us June 2, but it's done by Lynch.
Or can you do June 2, but can you replace this Neanderthal with Sean Young? But Sean Young...
just June 2, but it's if it's done by Lynch. That's what I do. I like the way he did it, to be honest.
No, when you say June 2, do you mean June Messiah? Because it's pretty short, June Messiah.
Oh, is it? So you'd need to do a couple of... Well, your AI film, and then you can go, let's do the next book in the June series done by Lynch.
I think that...
Watch that one.
I think there's enough material in June Messiah to be a full film in its outset, but it's also saying you'd have to get done by an AI because there's some very spicy moments in that book which these days would not be accepted.
How about June 1 gets pretty spicy, doesn't it?
So there's this bit about where Paul Atreides, who's now responsible for the deaths of trillions of people across the Imperium or the known universe, and he was talking about previous dictators like Stalin, Pol Pot, and Hitler, and saying a good start, but amateurs in comparison to me.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and he was saying some favourable things about the dictator you're not supposed to say favourable things about, because no one cares if you say things favourable about Pol Pot, say what you like about him, but he sure managed to get rid of those annoying journalists in Cambodia.
He managed to sort out those intellectuals, all right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're done.
We're about done, mate. Yeah, we're gone over.
Oh well, we'll always give them a bit extra. Let them know that they're getting value for money with us.
Always leave them wanting more.
No, let's leave them wanting less.
Dom says, "Do you like Sting in his underpants?" Then I think he's talking about. Get rid of Sting in the rubber underpants. What do you think about Sting in the rubber underpants? Is that something we should keep in AI June or not?
I just want Sean Young as she was back then and in Blade Runner, but in more films.
Yeah.
But then we weren't allowed to have that because of
the Tremors thingies are called grabites.
of reason. Yeah, whatever. 75% different sandworms.
Yeah. Oh, also, don't they actually call them sandworms in Beetlejuice?
I've never seen that, so I wouldn't know.
Ian says, "Do you like fish dicks?"
Yes, I'm Kanye West, Ian. Oh, they that's not
Right.
the first time they did a parody of him. They did one later on, and we were talking about his wife was a hobbit, and he was getting angry about this.
Right. Anyway, we are done. We've entertained you for a good while now.
Have we? Have we really entertained them?
2 hours 18 minutes. They've loved it. Look at them. We've had a really good chat. The chat's been going all night. Everybody's had a good time.
But what about super chats and donos and members?
Oh, do we have to say? Oh yeah, we have to say. Don't forget to like and subscribe because half the people that watch us don't subscribe. Or
Yeah,
like that, you're supposed to say
the algorithm.
Oh, do the little bell because that really helps us out with
the algorithm. And write a comment underneath saying what you liked, or maybe just write fart.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm.
Just write poo.
Write poo. I demand you write poo in the comments now. If you don't write poo in the comments now, I'm not going to read out what you say in the future. So if you don't write poo,
we read everything out. Even that. We read out the Fred West comment. We read that out. We read out these two should really do some research before they start doing a
podcast. But I'm also of the opinion where, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm trying to get some audience interaction.
Oh, we say it's a little thing for you, but it's a big thing for us. That's what you have to say, don't you?
Ah, yeah, that's it. Look, I'm not saying you have to give us all the money in your bank account, but it's greatly appreciated. There we go.
It's a little thing for you, but it's a big thing for us.
Yeah. You don't have to like, comment, and subscribe, but it's greatly appreciated if you do.
Yeah, it's a small thing for you, but it's a big thing for us.
Do it, or I'll break your kneecaps because you disagreed with Ed Miliband and his sensible policies on reducing.
What's wrong with Hobbit's mic? Do they just mean like wait? Am I mic cucking Hobbit because I've driven mine right into the red? Is that why they think there's something wrong with your mic? The fact that I'm cucking you for once.
Well, look, you can listen to us on BBC Two, and you know you sound like my volume because I'm looking at my stuff there, and you're sort of you're a bit quieter than me because of the desktop audio. I just use OBS for my sound mixing. I don't bother doing anything fancy. But
anyway, it's 20 past. We've done a good 2 odd hours. Did you not? Oh, you didn't comment on the gag on the Ed Miliband meme I put up.
Where did you put that
First,
up?
we cover all open space in the UK with solar panels. Then we dim the sun.
Well, I think I sort of alluded to that when I began this thing earlier because it's
I think we already did.
You know, 800 million
panels. And he spelled panels PANNELLS.
800 million pounds a year to dim the sun for your fucking solar panels, fucking knobhead.
Yeah.
Well done, Ed Miliband.
Yeah, Ed Miliband, we don't appreciate you.
More like Ed Miller Dumbo needs a band around his head that says "I am dumb."
More like Ed Miller solo artist.
Ed Miliband, I don't appreciate you.
Yeah, what about Steve Miliband would better. Anyway, it's way past my bedtime.
Just a second, just briefly, right? If you'd like to watch continued snooker, you turn on to BBC Two now, where we'll be carrying on for a little while yet.
Yeah, probably with a chick in it as well.
Yeah.
That's what they do with the extended stuff. They put chick in it and make it gay, don't they?
Well, I've got animated pot leaves in all 4 corners of my OBS window, so people know what's on.
Nice.
Yeah. You could just put animated
Right,
GIFs
anyway.
in OBS. It's brilliant.
Anyway, stay spooky, go away now, etc., etc.
BBC Two extended coverage snooker. We done?
Right, that's it. We're done. We're done from this end.
Oh yeah, but you know we're still live on the BBC Two, so don't say.
We're still live, so I can't say fuck or bugger.
Please don't say fuck or bugger. Yes.
Yes,
but
don't say fuck or bugger.
right.
'Cause
Well,
the YouTube algorithm doesn't like it.
look. Real life stuff later on. You know the thing. I'll text you about it.
Yeah,
But it's pretty much on. I got my tickets.
nice one.
Okie doke.
I've just
Right.
got to figure out how to end this stream. And right, that's both live streams ended.
No, it's not.
Anyway, yeah, catch you later, Hobbit.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the restreaming. Yeah, see you.
Yeah, I took both of my restreams. See you
Yeah,
later.
see you, mate. Right, now, the remote control is handy for channel hopping. It certainly is. Well, you're here on BBC Two. Now, on BBC Two. Oh, hang on. Where is my mouse? No, I've just had that monitor's just turned off now. So let's try and do some deals. My chemist has been lazy this day, and he's not made me any more meth. So I do have this meth derivative, which is... I don't want to sell it to them, but at the same time I want to keep them as a customer. So what I'm going to go and do is make these 2 deals. So there's a deal there, and then there's a deal there. So I'll make that, and then I'll go and also see you. Right, I'll have your earnings. And I'll trade some items, like... Well, you've got meth. Oh. No, that's all right. You've got plenty of product. You need to shift it. I'm going to go and see my other dealer. See if he's got anything I can trade. Yeah, because if I can just have their shitty meth... You've earned a bit better. That's good. So let's trade some items. You got meth. That's good. So, you know what? You have that. Is there anything I can trade you? Yeah, look, I can do this. I can actually do this, right? So, put all of this here, like so. Now, I'll take your meth, and no, I won't do that. I need to actually get rid of all that stuff, right? So you've got meth. I can actually do this. Let's get back to her before she sells that little bag of meth. Because in this case, I can actually do it. Right, so I'll get here. Right, give it to me then, please. Yeah, this is how we do it. And, let's see. Look. Yeah, sell some of this stuff. Right, so I'll do that. And then I'll collect my takings from the tent dealer, because he's the new one. Oh, that's the point. I've just lost my... There's my taskbar. It does every time I turn the monitor on again after this. Yes, this is the Dr. Disrespect stream. I know that name. Has he... done something recently? So I've been like people have been sort of talking about, and I heard something. Is he? Oh no, I'm thinking of Dr. Disaster. There's this games journalist I listen to. Yeah, I think that's the name. He's a games journalist called Dr. Disaster, and he's all right. He does his show. He talks about games, and he sort of complains about how shit modern games are, and he did a lot of coverage of Kingdom Come 2, and how they've completely going back on what made Kingdom Come, the first one, so good. Kingdom Come Deliverance, if you're not sure. Yeah, so I like Dr. Disaster. He's got, you know, he's got his gimmick. He does little 10-minute episodes, easily digestible games news. I think he might have even talked about Schedule 1, because he was saying like there was some big game and nobody was really interested in it. What? What do you mean the dealer's off? Oh, you refused the deal. Okay, well I've got some extra meth there, it seems. Right, let's go to the other guy then. Ah, you know what? If this guy doesn't accept it, I'll give him a little bit of meth on top as a sweetener. But hopefully he just accepts it for what it is. Just sweet, creamy meth. Well, she in that case. No, that's not enough. Yeah. No? No? That makes no difference. Right, in that case. Well, I'm glad somebody appreciates my efforts around here. I mean, it's just sweet, creamy meth, you know, it's nothing else. But there's no point me buying additives because the chemist has been lazy today and he hasn't done any work. So we'll do that. We'll probably call it a day soon. Yeah. Probably call it a day soon. Let's just go here. That's busy laundering money. It's good meth. Hobbit reminds you of Marty McFly with a skateboard. Dotted Disrespect got kicked off of YouTube for private messaging someone who works down the mines. Oh, yes. Now, somebody who works down the mines can be described as a miner. And if you're sliding into a miner's DMs and saying, oh, I'd really like some anthracite, what have you got? You're not allowed to do that now because of the net zero thing. They take a very dim view on somebody trying to source their own coal. I think they call it coal posting. It's it's not really accepted, coal posting. It seems to be verboten? Don't know. Anyway, we're done with our deals for today. So let's go and set the pot grow tent destination. Let's just have a nap. There we go. Sold some stuff. Right, let's make sure I can go products. Nope, that's not for sale. So I'm selling one bit of thing and then I'm selling 2 bits of weed. But soon... oh no. How can I unfavorite it? There we go, it's unfavorite. But this one... No, this one. There we go. That's favorited. When does cocaine become an option in this game? What about research chems? Well, there's an old interesting deal in itself. Let's go down here. Let's see if my staff have been... Why aren't you working? You haven't been assigned any trash cans. Right, let's assign you a trash can then. Because I moved the trash can. So anyway, put some of the stuff here. Put some stuff here. Let's go and pick this up. And there's packaging. Got some product. Yep, there's some product. Right, let's get packaging. Right, that's that packaging done. Why aren't you working? You haven't been paid. Why aren't you working? But there's no destination. Assign destination on the parts to make sure the destination full. Right. So. $400. So I'm doing you I'm 2 days work. You haven't been. Fuck me. Right. Follow me then, dickhead. Right, I've assigned you a trash can. Yeah. Oh, look at that. $430 just for one nugget of sweet dick. Come on. Look, you. Right. Anyone? Additives? PGR? Destination? Drying rack? Right. But apparently I don't need to do that with you. You just sort of seem to understand what's going on. Alright, chuck that on there. Because he can deal with that. So there's... That's it, that's done. Right, let's go and check on our chemist and make sure he's doing some chemistry. And then I'm going to do a far simpler mix, much like with Granddaddy Purple, where the mixture I had was that and Viagra, which doubled its price. Well, it didn't double its price, but it made it worth over $60. Right, so there's nothing for me to do right now. Let's check on that. You need a handler, don't you? I've paid you. You're not working. Do I need to get a handler in there to actually load stuff in for you? Is that what I need to do? I mean, I'll do that if I have to. But I'm disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed that you're not doing your fucking job. So, come on, give me that stuff. I'll do it myself. Come on, I'll lead you by the fucking hand to do this. So I'm doing what the handler would do, you see, where I'd handle the items and put them on the shelves. So now I've put stuff here. He's going to do it. Right, counter offer. You're going to have 10. Yeah. And right, let's make sure this is all loaded up with stuff. Well, I'm glad I didn't resort to violence in this case, although I was severely tempted to do so. Let us go and do a meet-up with Shirley Watts. Send message. Let's do a meet-up. North end of the overpass. Alright, you're there. Oh, just ran into my dealer. Never mind. Anyway, here's the pseudo store. So go there, and I can't buy that yet. So if I just order, say, 80 of those, can I do that? Right, there we go. Oh, I see. It's in stacks of 10. Right, so let's put in all of these items here, like so. And then we'll go and do some more, and then... Look at all these people only asking one thing. So this is a thing, right? Because these products are so expensive, yes, they are profitable. But people are only buying small volume because they are so expensive. The argument can be made that if you actually give them something which is cheaper, they'll buy great stuff. Oh yeah, the rest of my supplies are here. And... oh, money's been laundered. Right, okay. Let's go to the laundrette, see if I can actually go into it this time. It's... what the hell's going on with this laundrette? Guys. I'm stuck. Laundrette's bugged out. Oh, God. Can I go here? No, I've already deposited the most. Right. I'm not going to deposit the money now. I'm going to keep the cash because I need to buy acid and phosphorus at the chemist as well. Oh, and I think... do I want a handler? No, I don't want a handler just yet. Yeah, the laundrette, it was working, but for whatever reason now, it just... you can't seem to go into it. Which is unfortunate, really, because... I mean, what am I supposed to do? I bought... hey, guys, good news. I bought a laundrette where I can launder money. Bad news, can't actually get in there. Let's see, got some deals. Counter offer. I want you to buy 10. And fair price is $3.80 for 10. And then you. Counter offer, you're buying 10. And... schedule a deal late tonight. And he was already offering 415 for 9, so now he's paying 415 for 10. I'm happy doing that because it means I could do 2 jam jars instead of the other stuff, which I didn't want to do. Right, now let's go ahead and get some acid and phosphorus for our chemist. He's going to make improved antihistamines. That's right, YouTube. That's what I'm doing. Improved antihistamines. So he's called Oscar. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I ordered 30 of those, and then I order 30 of those, Wow, $2,400. That's a lot of money. This meth malarkey better be all worth what it is. What it is, fool. What it is, what it is. Like on, like on, like on, like on. So anyway, we'll go here. Top that off, there we are, like so. Go to this one, top it off, top that off, and then I'll go here and just put in the extra ingredients like so. Right, that should be enough to keep my chemist entertained for a while. I'll just have to remember that I am his handler because I can't afford another handler there. Yes, I think Dr. Disrespect might have been burning the coal and now he's paying the toll for it. I mean, we're all Greta Thunberg here. We don't approve of coal burning. And until I know better, I'll just say, yeah, Dr. Disrespect has been accused. No, we're not confusing Dr. Disrespect with Dr. Disaster, right? Because, I mean, if Dr. Disaster has done something, like, heinous, then, like, oh, okay, well, fair enough. I mean, I thought it was moderately entertaining. You know, talks about games and, like, DEI and other sort of buzzwords that I hear people talk about. You know, the usual. Let's manage this as well, right? So, manage, 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 and can I get there and manage? Yep, so, for mixed types. I don't want to manage you. I want to manage that. Can't. Right, add to that. PGR. Seed any. Destination. Drying rack. There we go. Hang on. I've just had a brainwave, right? Right, destination is not drying rack. Your destination is in fact this shelf here. Yeah, but I'm also telling him to manage these drying racks. So what he'll do is he'll harvest all of these, put them there, and then when she's not busy, she's going to put them in these drying racks. So, right, now I've done that, let's go ahead and do the same over here. So, manage, 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 right? Destination, not the drying rack, no. Your destination is here. There we are. Done. Enter. Enter to tell it it's done. Let's take this stuff here. Did you just make a poo noise? Disgusting. Anyway, let's do some more product. I'm very sloppy at this, as you can see. Right, so, and then we do some more. And, yeah, do some more. No, miss out one. Like so. And more. And we're not done yet. Can we get more in there? No, that's poor quality. That's also poor quality. And manage that, manage that, manage that, manage that. So destination is mixed. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. They're all being sent to some place. Well, look, if you want 12, how about 15? And then, oh, well, you're already paying a decent price for that. Okay, so now it's time to do some deals. So there's a few people that want this, and there's a few people that want my sweet dick, as it's called. No, that's not it. That's some sweet dick. And I'll take that as well. Right, so let's go and see Molly, which is she's out dealing, doing some deals, doing some Bobby Dazzlers. So let's go and deal with these extra customers. There you are. Oh, I see you're enjoying your glow-in-the-dark stuff. Makes them bright-eyed, you see. So if I go here and do these... Right. Is there a copper over there, though? Yeah, there is. So I won't go that way. Go this way instead. And... Huh. No, but you are behind me over here. You want shinny queef. Oh, I don't have any on me. Sorry, buddy. But you want Ogkush, so I can help you with that. I'll have to get him back to him then. Oh, silly me. So let's get you what you want, which is 2 of these, like so. And then Sweet Dick Ogkush. Right, so give you what you want, like so. And you, over there. 85%. Ah, you've got higher standards. Right, you have that then. And who else? 15 Ogkush in the Central Canal. Electrifying. Zombifying. Oh, you got high standards too. Everyone's got bloody high standards, haven't they? Yeah, can you like not glow so vibrantly, please? The police are looking. I'm not saying it's making them suspicious, but also I'm saying it's... Why is my laundrette like that? Look, I don't know why. If I walk backwards to the police and crawl, that makes them less like... No, well, you take... Yeah, you'll take low quality stuff. So, someone in the Central Canal... There they are. Just pick up a bit of litter. And... Oh, okay. Wait, what did you want? Sorry, you want 15. Hey, fuck off. No. Oh. Biffabin, there it is. Oh, I'm just a concerned citizen. I'm in the Biffabin. I was picking up litter. That's all. Yeah, so I was meeting with my drug dealer and he was pickpocketing me. I think he was trying to steal his drugs back, officer. No, there's nobody in this biffa bin. Go away. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Right. They're still around. So yeah, bugger off. They're going to drive off? Right, I can't go and launder my money there, which is a bit of a swizz. But I've still got the post office. So if I come here, and let's put some more money in, like so. Oh, I can at least launder some money that way. You know, pretty annoyed though that for some reason the laundrette is not working anymore. But anyway. Actually, you know what? I've made so much stuff now that I don't... Yeah. Oh, bugger. Right. Biffa bin time. You literally saw me go in the bin. You aimed at me and then I dropped in the biffa bin. I am not complaining that the police AI is this easily duped. Well, they wanted to arrest me, you see, because I'm out past curfew and I have a lot of clandestine items on my person which I do not want confiscated. So I'm just going to hide in this biffa bin. And you see there's this copper who runs around. But, you know, as far as they're concerned, they can't see me. So we'll just stay here until the... And, right, there's a light there. And they're walking off. Yep. Alright. And you're walking off too. So, now that bit of excitement's done. Ah, there's a piggy over there as well. Right. So if I come over here... like this, and then come back here. No, let's put all this away. Oh, and there's the shinny queef. Oh. So now I'll just go and deal all but one. So there we are. That's all I need. Just do that. So it's near Sauerkraut Supreme, which is all right because no, and it's on the gravel. Oh God! Right, Biffabin time. No, I do not. Look, officer, I do not consent to being tased. My fibromyalgia. That's not right. That's not good. Oh, there's all this litter in the bin. It's so dirty here. When's the last time someone tidied up? So just wait for this last bit to be done. And coast is clear. I didn't know I had a flashlight. Right, sorry about that delay. Been one of those nights, Sam Thompson. You enjoying that? Yeah, you're enjoying that. And $44. Seems alright to me. No! Look, I'm just going back to the motel room to have a nice 3-hour sleep. Okay? So, let's have a sleep. And there we go. Dealers earn £8 I owned a little bit extra. And that's it. We're on our way to the next rank. So, I'm going to save the game there. And then let's just have a look before we go out of our dealers. So, Molly, you've got Shinny Queef and Sweet Dick. Brad, you've got Banana Monkey and Shinny Queef. And Benji, you've got Ogka, Shinny Queef and Sweet Dick. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff. Right, we're done. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for this extended play on BBC Two, and hope we all enjoyed 4TM Words being simulcast. Don't do that all the time.